Hello, listening people.
Hello!
You're listening to Spit and Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Sliwinski.
And I'm Kasprzyszak.
Bartek?
Yes?
Is that you?
Yes?
You're the other host
Yes?
of Spit and Polish
Yes?
Presents
Yes?
Unappreciated Masterpieces?
Yes, now you got it.
I'm nailing this. I've got this, all my ducks are in a row, as the phrase is often said.
I have something to say to respond to that.
Get going?
Yes.
Yes, I knew it. I knew you were going to go there. Bartek, it's such a pleasure to hear from you again.
Thank you, it's been a few days.
It's been a while. We are doing our podcast, did you know?
Oh, we are doing Spit and Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces, the podcast where we do stuff.
Yeah, specifically feature-length audio commentaries for films that seemingly don't deserve them, but we say yes they do, because isn't everything an art form?
Yes, Ryan.
Including films?
Ryan, can you say something so I can say no?
Bartek, I love you.
Yes. You gotta give me something I can say no to.
Is your name not Bartek?
Your name Bartek would be yes, so no.
Got it. Bartek, on this show, we do the feature-length audio commentaries for Unappreciated Masterpieces. What really is an unappreciated masterpiece? Because, yeah, they're films that seemingly don't deserve them, but kind of like, are they completely forgotten movies? Are they ones that people would never have heard of before?
Are you just trying to make me say yes again?
Well, no, some movies that we
look,
do are known.
Unappreciated masterpieces are films that in the modern day are not held in the highest of esteem. They could be movies that were once great and are no longer talked about. They could be movies that simply never had any luck.
Yeah.
Movies that never had any love, unlike what you have for me.
Yeah.
Movies that we believe need to be loved and talked about and known everywhere.
Yeah, that's correct.
Everywhere with an internet connection that can listen to this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I could burn it onto a CD and send it to them if they want.
Sell it in, like, marketplaces.
Oh, can we do this? Can we get whatever the film we're covering? I don't know what the film is. Let's say the film is, I don't know.
Two-story house? I don't know.
Yeah, Two-Story House, the movie. I burn this episode on a DVD, and then I put the sleeve of the movie into a DVD case, and then put it in a store. That person's going to buy that movie, and then they're just going to get our podcast. Bartek, what do you think about this idea? Would that be good?
Yes.
But you know what would be even better? The name of the film we're covering, because I, until you say it, don't know what it is. That's the rules. Dem de rules.
Yeah, they're very archaic rules. I hope we can one day take down the tyrant that enforces them. The podcasting tyrant.
Yeah, very Old Testament God, yeah.
I didn't say he's a god, but he certainly thinks he is.
Yep, that's
or she,
right.
I don't know. I've never met him.
Pet, whatever one it is, you know.
Pet name.
What's the pet name for the movie?
The pet name for the movie is Starsza Pani Musi Zniknąć. Ryan, why are you laughing at the title of the movie, which you said you really wanted?
Because it sounded like an old fairy tale. like, say it again. It sounded like a stupid name, but go on. It's probably the greatest name ever. Go on. Hit me again. I'll do serious this time.
Starsza Pani... Why are you laughing?
Nothing. Starship, go on.
Starsza Pani musi zniknąć.
Zniknąć.
Zniknąć?
I don't know what you're saying. I don't speak Polish.
If you make the last part an SH sound, you'd say it properly.
Oh, an easy sound. I don't know what you're saying.
SH is a thing in English.
Yeah, I know. But
And Polish, which you speak.
I don't.
What?
I am Polish because we are spit and Polish. Likingly because we are always spitting and we are both Polish. But I don't speak the language. It's a defect in my design. So I don't know what you're saying to me.
I'm surprised the tyrant lets you get away with this, but...
You know, everyone has a thing wrong with them. Mine is not being able to speak Polish.
So you're telling me you don't know what starsza, or pani, or musi, or zniknąć, your favourite word, mean?
No.
Well, Ryan...
I don't. You know, the sad part is, you think that the last one's my favourite word, but each time you say it, one of the others is my new favourite word. I don't know,
right.
But go on.
Look, I'll give it to you, like, one word at a time. Starsza.
That's a good one.
Starsza means old, but like a feminine version of the word old in Polish.
Okay, old lady, yeah.
Pani means woman.
Oh,
Musi means must or needs to.
mushy, yeah.
And zniknąć means...
No, you're right. That is the best one of the whole sentence. That's the best one. Whatever gentleman or woman or pet came up with that as the word for whatever it is in Polish needs a medal.
Zniknąć means...
It sounds like a fairy tale, but also a kind of eggnog. Go on. A fairy tale eggnog. Go on.
That word means disappear, so... So if you put it all together, it makes duplex.
No! Duplex, my favourite. My favourite film of 2003. It's got Ben Stiller and no Jerry Stiller, which is very disappointing, but it does have Harvey Fierstein in it, and he's pretty great. But you know who's even better? Bartek, do you know who's better?
Drew Barrymore?
You're pretty close, because our guest isn't Drew Barrymore. So you're pretty close. No, I know you're looking at it thinking, that's just Drew Barrymore sitting next to Ryan.
But I wanted to ask her about Tom Green.
I don't... I forgot about them. Thanks for the reminder. No, we are not joined by Drew Barrymore, unfortunately, but we are joined by Tom Green. So, Tom, when are we going to get that director's cut of Freddy Got Fingered that we've all been waiting for? No, unfortunately, Tom Green couldn't make it either. I don't know what he's doing. What is he doing? Oh, who cares? It's Tom Green.
Probably wanking a horse? I don't know. The funny thing is, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. We are joined by Kat, the not Tom Green holder.
Hello.
Hello, Cat holder.
Hi.
What kind of cats are you holding these days?
I have one. I have a cat.
What kind of cat?
A white one.
And that's all you need to know.
It's no black one, but white's pretty good.
It's not a other kind of color. It's not a color.
No, literally, he's all white, and we bought him a bow tie, and he's really cute.
His name?
Levi.
Pretty good. I'll give him that.
Although my friend calls him Ivan.
Why?
Is he a Russian blue?
Yeah. No,
he's white.
No.
We deserve this. So, guys,
just a white cat.
That's enough about cat news. We're up to... that's
Actually,
enough
can
about...
I say something? I always assumed, I don't know why, but for some reason I thought the spit and polish. I thought you, Ryan, was spit.
Yeah.
And you were polish. Is that...
No, we just both happen to
No?
be spitting in Polish.
We've made the joke before, but
okay.
yeah.
You can be the end. If you like.
Yes.
Who's the presence?
Presents?
Well, it can be read either way.
You, the guest, you, the audience, you're the present to us.
You're
because you're now going to have
My
to listen
presence
to...
is a present.
I was going to say it's a present tense verb, but it's got the word presents in its name.
That was a nice lesson there from Bartek. But you know what you're going to get a lesson on now?
Zniknąć.
Duplex.
It's the magic word. It makes Ryan laugh.
Can you say it slowly?
Zniknąć.
Sounds so dirty when you said it slowly.
No.
I mean, look, it's just a simple word. Z-N-I-K-N, one of the variations of A in the Polish language and one of the variations of C in the
Okay,
language.
so question.
Yes.
So the name of the movie is
Duplex.
Duplex.
Yes.
But so there's not a literal equivalent word for that.
I'm sure there is, yes,
Great.
but the Polish localizers really love changing these titles and making them very on the nose.
Okay.
So,
Old lady must disappear.
Old lady must
Old lady-
die.
Old lady must zniknąć.
No.
so guys, get your copy of Old Lady Must Disappear from 2003 because we are going to...
Yeah, not the Netflix version. That's
Not the
currently online,
2015.
The horror.
The Thai one? I think it's
Yeah,
Thai.
yeah. Get your copy of this film ready, of course, because I'm going to do a countdown from 3 to 2, the 1 of 1. Get it?
2.5.
See, I included all of them. 3, 2, 1. There you go. See?
clever.
Do you do
It was-
3, 2, 1, or do you do 3, 2, 1?
And then I say play, and you're going to press play at the same time. See? We've all got it lined up here. So get ready, because we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1, play. Ah. Now we started Duplex, the great film directed by our favourite boy, Danny DeVito.
You know what you should do? Can you get a copy of this and then put this commentary over. You know how when you get a DVD,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's got the commentary.
Are you saying that we should do that and then put it in stores? That would be a great idea.
Well, we've already had the DVD idea.
Oh, I actually really like the caricatures. I
Yeah,
think they're very apt.
they're very apt.
Apt.
I said
Yes.
apt.
Apt. Yes.
You want to say it again?
I'm
we
just trying to
found.
get more.
Ape it!
I'm trying to get more P's in.
Hey guys, we found Kat's favorite word for the day: apt.
Apt.
So they are good caricatures. They kind of have that kind of bewitched quality about them, like you know how old 1960s shows opened up with cartoons.
I love the cartoon intros.
So this is what this is, a cartoon intro.
Yeah,
So
so I love
and
it.
it really matches the tone of the rest of the movie, which is
Zany.
zany is correct, because if I had to describe this, it is a zany, off-the-wall movie brought to us by Danny DeVito, a zany, off-the-wall man, who is someone that, you know, you think about and you just go, I don't know, he's got a weird, chaotic energy about him, Danny DeVito. You just see him and you go, oh, there's something going on with Danny, but something good, I think. Is it chaotic or good?
It's just interesting that, like, right, so what are we going to do to start the movie? Okay, I'm going to do a voiceover.
'Cause I'm
and
Danny
it's going to
DeVito.
be a cartoon.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever made a movie? Have you?
No. I've made,
Oh, sorry. Have you made...
I've made animations.
Oh,
Does that count? Ooh.
of this?
Yes, I actually created the.
I knew
created the
it.
animation.
Bartek's also done
used to
animated
live
work
in
in the
that
past.
house.
I did a thing.
You did a short animated thing of a guy going home to his home planet.
It was a UFO going to Mars.
Oh, that...
With classical public domain music over it.
Now, guys, this film, Duplex, from 2003, is very close to my heart, because my history with this movie is I have seen it a few times before having to do it for this show.
Out of personal choice.
Well, I saw it on TV the first time, which quite a few years later, I was probably like finishing up high school, and I saw it on TV, and I was like, oh, Ben Stiller, Drew Barrymore. Oh, okay. And why I went, oh, okay, like that was, I'm a huge fan of the TV show Extras with Ricky Gervais, and Ben Stiller's in an episode of that, and he has this comment where he's like, you're jealous of me, because the celebrities all play versions of themselves in that show, and he's like, you're just jealous of me because, you know, I've slapped Jennifer Aniston on the ass, and I've kissed Drew Barrymore, and I've got to, you know, make out with I got to kiss Drew Barrymore and Cameron Diaz, and I'm like, I've seen the other two, but I haven't seen the Drew Barrymore one, and then I saw it.
And you saw
Here it is, the Drew Barrymore one he referenced in
When
that.
did Mrs. Doubtfire come out?
Earlier.
Earlier than this, yeah.
Mid
90s?
90s.
Yeah, okay, right.
Because Harvey Fierstein is
He's
the brother
brother.
in Mrs.
Yeah,
Doubtfire. He's
they're
also
making a
known
face.
in Independence Day, the film. He has the great line of, I gotta call my mother! And then he gets exploded by a laser.
I actually don't think I've seen Independence.
And he's
Day.
also, Bartek knows him from The Simpsons. He plays...
Who's he voicing Simpsons?
He's in the episode of Simpsons where Homer gets hair and he becomes very successful, and he gets his own personal Smithers guy, Carl. That's him. He plays a really sympathetic role in The Simpsons, like one of the most emotional characters ever from The Simpsons that they've presented, that you see in one episode. And this guy, who I usually associate as a weird pervert or over-the-top gay guy in most characters that he plays, or con men or stuff, he plays like one of the most sympathetic, charismatically charming roles on The Simpsons, and you're just like, why don't you do this more often? He's got a great voice, killer
Okay,
voice.
I
I
will
love the
say,
voice.
maybe the version, I was like, I felt like it was older than 2003. The version I watched the other day was on YouTube,
Oh.
and it had all these little squares on the screen.
Yeah, that's how they get around putting them on YouTube.
Classic.
So maybe that's why
You loved
I
it.
thought it looked much older. And also I realised that, like, the version I was watching was like, there was definitely a couple of inches cut off either side of the screen.
Aspect ratio change. Yeah.
Because I remember there was one bit where, like, Drew Barrymore's looking around and there was only about half of her face. And I was like, I feel like that's the wrong shot, unless Danny's like, he's just doing some weird.
Well, Danny DeVito's known for using the fish-eyed lens for a lot of his shots. Obviously, one of his most famous directorial movies is Matilda. He directed Matilda.
I actually didn't know that. I mean, I knew
He's
obviously
in
he was
Matilda.
in it.
He directed it, and he has lots of, very intense close-up shots of people's faces in Matilda. So it wouldn't. In your defense, if you were somebody who knew how Danny DeVito directed and saw that shot that's mostly of Drew Barrymore's face, it would actually make sense in his cinematography standards. So
I saw
good
this
job.
thing recently, and it was because it's the anniversary or something of
Matilda.
Are they eating the cake?
Yeah. It's really cute. And Bartek hasn't seen Matilda.
No.
Tragic story. But Bartek, had you seen Duplex before I suggested we do it for the show?
I'm glad you asked, Ryan, because it's a thing I can say no to.
Why? Have you ever heard of it before? Not at all.
I've heard of the word.
I love how it's
Well, that's even better than Cat.
I hadn't heard of the word. I googled it, and I was like, to Ryan, I was like, we're gonna watch Duplex, and I was like, a duplex is a unit.
I didn't know how to reply to that. I was like, yes? I thought...
To be fair, I didn't know the exact definition of it, but I knew it was like a
Something to the
residential
house,
building
yeah.
of some
My
sort.
history with the word duplex was I
sounds
probably
like
learned it at school or from my
Duplex.
parents.
It just sounds like an American word. Duplex.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. What, who knows? But
It's got an X in it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's basically like a unit. You could say that you live in a duplex. Could you not?
no.
But it's like
That's
the
pretty
Google definition.
It's pretty nice for Ryan's cardboard box to be called a duplex.
When you Google it, it's like it's a house. It's like two abodes in the one building,
Yeah, but I live
separated by a wall.
I live in one abode.
Yeah, but like you're.
Oh, my
it's in
whole
the same-
complex, I
yeah.
guess. But when you say every apartment complex is a duplex, are you crazy?
Okay.
Hey, friends? They lived in a duplex. Like, what are you?
Okay, I take it back. Duplex is obviously two.
Do is right. So Bartek had never heard or seen this movie before. Tragic, Bartek. Kat, obviously you hadn't
Never heard of it.
either.
Oh, that's a nice wedding photo. Though.
Don't worry.
Do we actually talk about the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
No.
You're just like, fun fact. Island.
Fun fact: a duplex is a unit.
And then I play the ending music to the podcast and then end the episode there. No, the film is a beautiful story for those who aren't in the know, like Bartek and Kat weren't in the know. The story is Ben Stiller, Drew Barrymore, married couple. They're married.
Yeah.
Did you see the
yeah,
wedding
you
photo?
Just had, commented on it.
Sorry. They're a married couple who have enough money to get their own place, and so they decide to get a duplex.
In
which
Brooklyn.
is what's a duplex?
A duplex is a unit.
That's right. You're a unit.
It's a house.
So
It's a house with a wall.
and they get this duplex, and the catch is upstairs lives this elderly old lady.
Do they have a contract with her?
No, well, they're her landlord.
Yeah, so they should have like a contract.
Yeah, and they signed that.
Did they?
Yeah, Harvey Fierstein went, okay, you're just gonna sign this.
Yeah, but wasn't that to buy the house?
Yeah, and then that in that makes them landlords of the duplex as well. So they own her, but they can't kick her out.
They own her.
So they own nothing. Oh, setting up.
Oh,
You know what they
this is
say?
good.
Chekhov's
Ooh.
harpoon gun. Introduced in the first act, must be fired
Ooh,
through
okay, do you know
the
what?
shoulder of a Sex and the City actor in the third. That's correct.
Yes. Okay. Oh no, does it actually show him packing it back up?
Yes. See?
Okay.
Give the film some credit. The mise en scene is perfect.
Okay, so because I don't know, the time it took him to get from that wall to the other wall and wrap the cord back around.
He didn't do a great job wrapping around. Kat, give him a break.
I will say that I also noticed that, and I commend him for doing it quickly between takes.
Well, I just was like, I don't know if that would be
Be the
the right
thing.
amount of time that you could wind that back up.
Well, come on. Give Ben Stiller a break. This was just after, a couple years after Zoolander flopped at the box office because Roger Ebert said 9/11 happened. It's not a good time for comedy. So give Ben Stiller a break. He's still reeling
Zoolander
from
was
that.
great.
It is great, and Roger Ebert had to apologize to Ben Stiller years later because he sunk Zoolander with his stinker of a review because Roger Ebert sucks, and I bet he gave this film a negative review.
You gave it
We
2
gave
out
a
of
good
4.
one.
Oh, that's a passable review, but
Who are you talking about?
Roger Ebert, famous film critic, probably the most famous film critic.
Oh, I see.
Once you see an image of him, you're like, oh, that guy.
Ah, the critic man.
He was so annoying when he panned, I do believe, Independence Day, which, again, Harvey Fierstein was in. Roland Emmerich made the film Godzilla, and it had half the cast of The Simpsons in for no known reason.
Oh my god, I hated this bit.
What?
Because she's like, my writing's not a real job.
It's because it's not.
She's so old. Look how many books she has on her shelf.
Yeah, but she doesn't care.
She doesn't care because she's terrible.
You know that. Like, we're all arty-farty types. There are those people in the world who are just like...
I'm good at the fart part.
Yeah, there are those people in the world who are just like, arts ain't smarts.
Arts
You know, and you're just like,
ain't
what the fuck? You're watching TV.
As someone with the letters ART in his name, I'm personally offended.
But art
I
tech...
was like,
That's
yeah,
right. Bartek is a form of artistic license.
I'm a Bartist.
But what I was going to say was, in the film Godzilla...
Yeah, I know.
I love this. Roland Emmerich got so annoyed by Roger Ebert's review.
And
Siskel, the other film critic. They were pretty much, Siskel and Ebert, the equivalent of Margaret and David. Like, we have Margaret and David, the film critics. They had Siskel and Ebert, and he got so annoyed, he named characters Siskel and Ebert and had them eaten by Godzilla.
No, wasn't it that
Can
he
you
had...
imagine being
no,
so
Ryan.
vindictive
No,
about
Ryan, that wasn't the thing. He had two lookalikes of them in the
Oh,
film,
really?
and then didn't kill them, and then Roger Ebert called him out, and it's like, you had us to make fun of us, but you didn't kill us?
Yeah. Can you imagine being so vindictive? It's like if you annoyed me that I named a whole podcast the Cat Holder Sucks
No, it's
podcast,
like, you know,
and then
at
we
the
never
end-
talk about you.
now at the end of things, it's like any similarities to people real or living or dead is
Purely fictitious, and it's up to
purely
you.
coincidental.
Yeah. So this is obviously, like I said, the film is the old lady is the catch, and why is she the catch? Well, it's because she is a manipulative old bitch who puts on the veneer of kind old lady. And it takes our main characters quite some time to figure out how evil she is, and I will be honest, for the audience to figure out how willingly evil she is, because
Yeah.
for a
She's
very
just
long period...
annoying.
But she's evil. Obviously,
Well, yes.
we
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
of course, for those...
Spoiler. No.
Well, you know, the spoiler is she's
a
doing it on
bitch.
purpose. And, we'll get into that later. But for us, the audience, we were left not knowing for a very long time if this was purely coincidental behavior or very calculated behavior. Bartek, when I said we were going to do Duplex and you had a brief look at what this entailed, what were you expecting from this film?
Well, before I started watching the film, all I knew was that it had Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore in it, and I saw the poster, which was basically them just sitting down in front of a white background. So I just assumed oh, I guess this is a romantic comedy. Not like I was gonna put down money and put down my reputation on that. This is gonna be a romantic comedy. Strike me down if I'm wrong. I just thought oh yeah, romantic comedy. Let's watch.
You're like that bookmaker who made 1,000-to-1 bet that the Titanic would never sink, and then it sunk.
No, I'm not like that.
Well, no, you thought it was going to be a romantic comedy. It wasn't, though, was it?
It was not.
It could be, depending on your, it's a love story between a woman and her house.
It's a love story. It's a love story between a gay real estate agent and a gay black cop who just really need money so that they could travel overseas.
I'd love it if someone's watching this film blind, listening to our commentary, and you bring up the black cop, and they're like, "What's he talking about?"
Well, there's a policeman who's also black. Why that matters is, not really matters, but I just bring it up because he's got the trifecta of being a gay black man with supreme authority.
Is he gay?
Yes. Yes? You
What?
got that too, right?
Is he gay?
At the very end of this film, I'm getting into it, it is revealed that Mrs. Connolly, the nice old lady that
You're
lives
ruining
upstairs...
the end.
is the
He's
mother
ruining everything.
is the mother to Harvey Fierstein's character.
Yeah.
And Harvey Fierstein makes the comments about we need money so we can travel overseas and all that kind of stuff, and holds the hand of the cop who's also in on
really?
this.
Oh, I didn't even
So
notice
they're
that.
a
I
gay,
didn't notice the whole hand thing.
and they're a gay couple.
I think maybe by the time I got to the end of the movie, I just zoned out because I wasn't enjoying
because it was
it at
so
all.
but it was good though, wasn't it?
It was one of the greatest films ever made, right?
I mean, it gave Kat a numbing effect on the first viewing of it, but now that you're viewing it again, you're noticing the subtle ways that it's setting up things that will be later paid off. Like, look at Mrs. Connolly here. She's giving him the alcohol, but it's almost empty. That's not how it happened before. So it's indicating that she's a bit of a deceiver there.
Her actress name is Eileen Essell, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually didn't notice that before. Honestly, I had it up on. I had the YouTube, the version which was half the screen is cut off.
So that's your fault.
Oh, and I didn't like half the bloody wall comes away later.
Yeah, see, it's a setup and a
bang,
payoff.
Bang, bangity, bang, bang.
Okay, enough about your porno.
I was just reading the subtitles.
Was that the soundtrack or the plot synopsis?
The dialogue from Kat.
Both. She's like, I need a plumber, and he's like, okay.
The Kat porno is just her standing there going bangity bang 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 bang, and then just standing there.
Bang bang bangity bang bang.
See, you got it.
Yeah, you said
I was testing you.
Ryan,
Anyway.
when you say the cat porno, it makes it sound like it's a bestiality thing. So just
Change your
behave
name,
yourself.
Kat. Change it.
No.
Can I call you Kathy?
No.
Kathy Bates
No,
is
I
here.
don't like
everybody.
Kathy. I despise Kathy.
What other variants on your own name do you despise? So I know not to say them.
Dog dropper.
Catster. Caddy.
No, I don't like Kath or Kathy.
What about Caddy?
Sure.
You know, look at her face and otherwise. Oh, look, some drawers. Now, Caddy, when I said that you're...
Larry, I don't want with me drawers.
Great acting from Kat there. Again, great acting. Oh, look, it's Maya Rudolph.
Oh, yeah, I was like, there's actually, like,
People in
well-known
this.
people in this.
Well, it's Danny DeVito directing. Look at that guy acting in the background looking at like, the films. He's just like, yeah, I just stick my fucking eye on
don't
it.
they usually have the little thing, though?
Yeah, but he doesn't. He just has his eye, so he just smushes film on his eye.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we're going to get your character to do this.
It's
I
Wallace
swear
Shawn.
he just looked down the barrel.
It's Wallace Shawn, everybody's favourite actor. We all know him.
What else? He's in everything.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, okay.
Inconceivable. He's in Clueless as the teacher, I'm pretty sure. Or 10 Things I Hate About You. I always get them confused. I don't know why. He's been on the show before, I'm pretty sure. Wallace Shawn. I'm pretty sure he's appeared in one of our episodes. But he's a great character actor. He's in this. Maya Rudolph's in this. She's a great comedic actress who everybody knows from, what was it, Bridesmaids, I want to say?
Yes, and SNL and all that jazz.
And she's married to Paul Thomas Anderson, the famous director. And that just blew my mind. Yeah.
Great.
So, Kat, when I said Duplex, this is the film we're covering, what was your initial thoughts of what it was going to be about? Did you have anything? Did you have an idea
It's a unit,
of like...
right?
It's a unit.
It's a unit. I googled the word. I googled duplex, and then that came up.
And you're like, oh, I'm just watching an apartment.
I'm just gonna
building.
watch a house.
A real estate.
No, and then I went onto Netflix to see what it was. if it was on Netflix.
Yeah,
And it was the 2015 horror version. I was like, what if I watched this?
And I said,
I was like, I
don't.
should have just said nothing. And I should have just watched it and then just had a wildly different experience.
Bartek almost had that experience one time when we did The Covenant.
Yes.
The male equivalent of the film The Craft. He watched a horror movie version of it from like 2015 as well, I would say. And
yes,
it was
almost amazing. And Ryan, your equivalent is you watched a weird edit of...
of a band slam.
Wait, who watched the proper one?
I watched a
Bartek.
proper movie of the film Band Slam, but someone had
great.
edited it into a fan
As a
edit of the film.
Guacamole bowl?
That's your favorite line, is it? It's a stool.
It's
now,
just so
Kat,
little.
you're very small.
It's perfect
This stool
size.
would be perfect
Oh, yeah,
for you.
it's the fish, sort of the...
Fish Islands, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, Drew Barrymore looks like a fish. Doesn't she?
No, she doesn't.
Are you sure?
No.
Look
Drew
at that
Barrymore's
mouth again.
great.
Look at that fish mouth
Okay, I'll
again.
wait till the...
You're going to look at that little
Zoom
fish mouth of
happens.
hers, and there
Oh.
she is.
Yeah, great.
Drew Barrymore's aged a lot. Yeah, you look at it, you're like, I don't know, Ryan. You could
Bang,
be
bang,
right.
bangity bang.
Bartek, the character that is you in the film, right here, the plumber, never comes back again.
Be my relative, maybe. I don't know.
He's
$471.
This guy does not say the word Zniknoj at any point.
Nick Nodge.
What is he speaking?
I don't know. Don't they call him Russian at one point?
Yeah, they just call him Russian. I guess he's a Russian. I was expecting him to be in on it at the end too. It was like he'll be sitting at the desk at the end of the movie, stacking up the
counting
cash,
his
and he'll be like,
coins,
and he'll be like, and he'll have like a Jersey accent or something.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
He'll be
Oh,
a completely different guy.
So, Hon, there's a
That'd be a
question,
nice
right?
twist.
When you first watched it, did you like anticipate the twist? Or
No.
something?
Okay, so when I first watched this movie, I just took it at face value. I just went, oh, this poor old lady, she's just a bit, overbearing and all
because
that.
because the main characters get shit on, that's why the cops are a dick to them, basically.
Yeah, I think it's like that typical misunderstanding of like the cop sees this thing, so he takes it as value because why would he think this old lady's doing anything? And that's that. I just took it at face value, so I didn't expect there to be an evil scheme. I think for most audiences, I don't know about you guys, when you watched it, to tip you off if there was a scheme, it was when they go to Harvey Fierstein later and...
Oh, and he's like, I would never say
I would
that.
never say that.
Yeah.
Good impression I think of him, I do.
I would never say that.
What? You sound like Don Adams.
I would never say that.
You sounded like...
I would never say that.
Your first version sounded more like Inspector Gadget.
Oh,
I
great.
would never say that.
Is that on your list?
The Matthew Broderick Inspector
Yeah.
Gadget? Oh, I sure will be.
It should be now.
I would never say that.
You know what I really hate about that movie? They show Dr. Claw's face.
Oh,
like that's the one
yeah.
thing that you don't do. Like
And it was,
forget everything
what's
else.
his name?
Rupert Everett.
Yeah.
Who we've had on the show for Saint Trinians.
You've had on this. He was.
He was
here,
physically
wasn't he?
here
He was
dressed as his character from Saint Trinians, the headmistress, and he was all like, "It's me!" Now, Bartek, my good man, you're a fan of Ben Stiller, yes?
I'd say so. I've seen him in a lot of things that I've liked.
What are the things you know him for and like him for, and what is it about him that draws people in as a comedic leading man? Because still to this day, he's still a big draw.
Not Stiller.
Still a big draw.
I've seen him in the Zoolander. I've seen him.
Zoolander.
The Zoolander
I've
2.
seen him in the Starsky and Hutch, Zoolander 2.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him in all three of the Meet-Thers.
I haven't seen the last one, Little Fockers, which is a different name. It's
Yeah.
like, why wouldn't you call it Meet the Children or something?
I think-
Like-
The children.
I think
This is weird.
because
Oh yeah, but Meet the Parents and then Meet the Fockers. Oh my god, it would have been better. Okay, that's actually a great idea. If the Meet the Families movies had the...
Like a horror.
if they had a
trailer?
different genre each movie, so Meet the Parents is a straightforward comedy, then Meet the Fockers would have been like a Woody Allen type movie because
Yeah,
it kind of
right.
wanted to be, and then the third one, Meet the Children,
Children of the Corn.
would have been a horror movie
Yeah.
shot in black and white,
Yeah.
and Robert De Niro is like a killer.
the reason why it's not called Meet the Children because I saw that in cinemas and I believe they're barely in the film.
Yeah, but who cares? Oh,
Exactly.
Sorry. I'm just jealous of the fact that I came up with a better name and they didn't use it. I'm like, how could you?
I've seen the first two Night at the Museums.
Yeah, I forget about them.
Oh, I have not seen those.
Was he? He was in Tropic Thunder.
He's the main guy in Tropic Thunder.
Yes, Simple Jack. I haven't seen Simple Jack because that doesn't exist, but you know.
It's called Forrest Gump, and you know it. You fucking know it.
There was something else I saw him in, but
Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Oh yes, I love that film.
I hated that movie.
Oh no! What?
Because I've seen the original movie and it's much better.
What original movie?
It's based off a 1945 movie called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I thought it was based on a book.
Yeah, but the
But it was
movie,
written
the
before
movie was
1940.
yeah, the movie.
Who's in the original?
Danny Kaye. So
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito's Danny Kaye,
No.
famous actor from back in the day. He was in White Christmas and he was in Peter Cottontail. He was the narrator in the film Peter Cottontail.
He was the rabbit.
No, he wasn't. He was the narrator.
Is that a cartoon?
Yeah, it's a stop motion cartoon with Vincent Price as the villain because why wouldn't he be Iron
yes,
Tail?
okay.
He wants to take over Easter. It's the only Easter-based movie that exists. Like, think about it. Easter's just that one that nobody gives a fuck
There's
about.
always an Easter movie though.
Name me them.
Like 2 years ago there was Hop, and then
That's not an Easter-based movie
They- no,
properly.
they
It's just
always
about the
have-
Easter Bunny.
Yeah, that makes it Easter.
Can we say any Jesus thing then?
No.
No, they always have like a kids' Easter movie, and then they had like the Peter Rabbit one this year.
That's not an Easter movie. That's just a movie about a rabbit.
Yeah, but it's Easter.
No, it isn't. Just you saying, oh yeah, Peter Rabbit, that's an Easter movie. No, it isn't. It's just a movie about Peter Rabbit, the rabbit.
Yeah, but rabbits are like Eastery. Actually, do you know what I like?
Harvey.
They changed their sheets.
That is good, Kat, because I do that too.
The other ones were ugly. They were like this dark olive green. I was like, well, Ben Stiller definitely picked them because it matched his shirt.
Kat is so observant on this very pertinent information.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what other films has Ben Stiller been in? 'Cause,
Oh, Ben Stiller, of course. You know, you listed most of them. Some other ones, he's also directed plenty of movies as well. Secret Life of Walter Mitty being one of them.
Zoolander, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
Just this
reality.
not the first one, was it?
Yeah, Reality Bites, another big one of his. It's a more underground independent movie with Ethan Hawke in it and stuff like that. I hate Reality Bites, but it's one he's been in before. He's been around for ages, though. Think about it. Ben Stiller's like Paul Rudd. They've been around for ages,
love Paul Rudd.
But Paul Rudd's only become more prominent now.
Yeah.
I mean, you think back, for me, Paul Rudd, I first got introduced to him in 40-Year-Old Virgin, but then I'm like, found out he's been around since like the late 80s.
Yeah,
I'm like, Jesus
yeah.
Christ, Paul Rudd.
Totally.
So, Paul Rudd's not in this movie,
What?
though.
Unfortunately, what was Ben Stiller? I was thinking about this when I was coming over. When did Ben Stiller like get started?
I'm
what was his
pretty
first
sure
thing?
he had a...
Was he in TV show?
He had a TV show, a sketch show of his own.
Really?
Yeah, and that's how he met Tom Cruise, which he would use that friendship and relationship later on for when he did Tropic Thunder, because he was doing
Yes.
he was doing a Mission Impossible spoof, and he's really good at playing Tom Cruise.
I remember when I saw that, and then at the end, my mum was like, "Oh my gosh, could you believe that was?" My mum doesn't sound like this at all. Could you believe? No, like because
your Harvey
Tom Cruise
Fierstein
had his,
impression.
no, I can't even remember what I said.
Could you believe?
Because like he even had like fat fingers, like fat
Yeah,
short
yeah, yeah,
fingers
yeah,
in
yeah.
his nose.
And
Like,
he's
I
bald.
didn't realize it was Tom Cruise until
But yeah,
because I didn't see any like ads for it, like you know.
he was in a movie a little while back called Tower Heist with Eddie Murphy. That will be on the show one day. Yeah.
Oh, I think I watched
With Alan
that.
Alda as the
I
villain.
think I've seen that.
And Ryan, your other question was what's the draw of?
Yeah,
Ben
what's his
Stiller?
draw? What makes you go, oh yeah, Ben Stiller, who is the guy I want to see.
Well, when I think
Nice shot there.
When I think of Ben Stiller, I find it interesting that he can play, the absolutely ridiculous characters, but then also the straight man characters in all sorts of different films. So
Yeah.
he's definitely got versatility there.
He plays either stupid or straight. He's also a good dramatic actor.
Yeah, what's he been in that's like super dramatic?
Honestly, there's this one movie, I honestly can't remember the name of it, but it's just about him being depressed. Which white male comedian movie about them being depressed could it be? Dan in Real Life? No, that's Steve Carell. Everything Must Go? No, that's Will Ferrell. Like, I don't know. I can't remember.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty. is
Secret
kind
Life
of-
of Walter Mitty's more of a drama than a comedy. It
Yeah,
barely
but
made
then
me
it
laugh.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's.
Watch the original Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Okay, complete detour from Duplex, but
We haven't been talking about Duplex for like 10 hours. Like we're off.
So
We're off
the
this.
Original Secret Life of Walter Mitty, the
Yeah, in the
film,
40s.
is in the 1940s. It's in color. Danny
Is
Kaye.
it on Netflix?
No, I don't think so. But Danny,
Stan.
I don't have Stan, but
Amazon
Danny,
Prime.
I don't have that either.
SBS on demand.
Might be.
ABC iView.
Maybe. I think SBS more so. But Danny Kaye, he was a big comedian back in the day, big draw, and his whole shtick was that he could do tongue twisters. Like one of his primary talents was he could do extremely complicated tongue twisters very, very, very efficiently and
Can
very
you give
quickly.
an example?
Oh, I can't. But like he would do whole songs, and he was very good at speaking very quickly, but with clarity. And in The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, he plays the same kind of role. He's sad loser guy, but in that film, he works in the pulp magazine, so he's working on Dracula comics and Frankenstein comics, and
Oh, so very different.
but similar because in the new movie, he's working in a normal
National.
magazine.
Yeah.
He's still a magazine guy. And in the original movie, here's the twist. He has all these daydreams, and I like this much better than the new one. He has all these daydreams, but in his daydreams, he visualizes this woman who he's never met before. Never met this woman before. She's a complete amalgamation of the dream woman he wants, he has in his dreams. And then he sees her in real life, and it freaks him the fuck out.
Right. But so how does he know that it's actually real life then if he's hallucinating?
No, that's a part of it.
Right.
That's a part of it, because he gets into car accidents because he's daydreaming. And one of my favorite little gags in the Walter Mitty movie is, the original one is, every daydream has a noise in it that he makes, which is tapakada, tapakada, tapakada. And he always, and he says it quickly, he always puts it in there for no reason, like, I'm an airplane pilot, and my engine's crashed, and my engine's blown up, tapakada, tapakada. It's like, so this scene here, Bartek, where the old lady's having a bathe in the tub, she's playing her husband's favourite song, which is Slim Dusty's Pub with No Beer. This is very prominent for listeners of the show, because my hometown is Kempsey.
Slim Dusty.
Is Slim Dusty's hometown.
Really?
Yes. And Slim Dusty, for those not in the know, was a famous country musician. Where she starts masturbating. Yeah.
No, the fact that he's watching and also...
That she's masturbating.
No one is
that's
using
fun.
a sponge.
What?
No one is using a sponge.
Yeah, Ryan.
What do you mean?
Do the deed.
To do the masturbating deed? But you agree she's masturbating, right?
Well, that's what's implied.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
You're not going to be rubbing it... Like, that's no. That's not
Well,
gonna happen.
she's got to move quite a few flaps
Oh
away.
my God.
What? You're asking?
No, I'm not asking. Mrs. Connolly?
She's Irish. She might need to use a sponge.
Do you know how rough that thing would be? It was like
Well,
one
no,
of those
she put it,
natural ones.
but she put it in the water.
No, okay, just
Oh,
stop.
poor
Stop
Drew Barrymore.
quick while you're ahead.
So yes, I was talking about Slim Dusty, who is a country musician, and he's from my hometown, and he hated my hometown and left as soon as he could, as I did. And then my hometown dedicated a whole museum to him 15 years after he had died.
Aw.
And now I'm seeing
Ooh,
this.
look at that.
Nice shot, Danny.
What was that? Like
It was a thorn.
a thorn,
Or
yes.
thistle.
I'm surprised he fell straight onto like a massive pile of like
Thistles.
sticks and...
Stones may
Yeah.
break your bones, but
But the stones won't stab you.
Have you ever had to pull a stick out of your leg?
no. Pull a stick out of my leg?
Or like a chunk of wood?
So
I
what?
don't
You just
know.
leave them in, Ryan?
You got me
Yeah,
there.
they just come out like a...
I'm the fool. You
Isn't
got
it
me
when you
with
get
that
a
one.
splinter, you're just supposed to let it do its thing?
Have you ever used a clapper?
Give me a clap now. Clapper.
Oh, and then the podcast turned off. No, have you ever used a clapper? Because they seem like something I've only seen ever in American films, like Wayne's World and
Well, Ryan.
and shit like this. I've never met anyone who actually has a clapper. I know they existed, but do we?
I'm not going to answer that question, Ryan, but I was going to ask you, was Around the World in 80 Days an American film?
Yes, it was.
The
Okay.
original,
I mean, it was
they're
set
all
in England, but it was an American-made movie.
Okay, I thought it was British.
British made.
Paramount's a pretty American filmmaker.
Yeah, but don't they like sometimes, collaborate? Well, if they're part American, then yeah.
Is this film American?
No, Ryan, it's
No.
filmed in Brooklyn. And directed by that American guy.
DeVito.
DeVito.
Divider. So, but you didn't answer my question. Have we ever encountered the clapper before?
Nah, def's not.
Do you want to use one?
I remember like my parents had like touch lamps like next to their beds that you'd like, so it'd be like once would turn it on, then twice brighter, 3 times brightest, and then once more and it would go off.
Okay. Fancy.
The little touch lamps.
Bartek, you've never used a clapper? Not even in Poland? They don't have them everywhere with the fluoridated water and your dad's 3 million toilets that he has in his own house? He doesn't have like 14 clappers in the one room?
I feel like I would have tried to use one at some point, but it didn't work. But I could not remember where it would have happened. So I'm just going to say no.
You know what's great? Technology has moved on so much since 2003. Because think about this. In this film, at no point do they use the internet to look up the duplex and to see if anyone's written about this old witch that lives there that has been
People just
haunting.
didn't do it then. I don't know.
No, that's what I mean. Technology has moved forward. And
No,
look,
but they had the internet.
yeah, but but we didn't use the internet in the way that we would now. The technology of the internet has moved forward for that kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
As has the clapper. They're using the clapper, but now you just say, okay, whatever technology, play music, and then music would happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Which-
Get her a serious.
You know what I love? That takes way more time than just like Hey, I have to say a whole bunch of sentences for you to do the thing.
Technology has come a long way. We now have multiple websites that track all the roller coasters in the world.
How many of them kill people?
Their house is actually really big.
Well, it's a duplex.
And-
That's a unit.
Of space.
Double the space.
But I love they make a comment of like, it's a bit smaller because they
Wait, is
have
that
3
the rug that was
fireplaces.
in the thing?
Well, she has several of them.
Several. Oh, I only thought she bought
Oh,
one.
Swoosie Kurtz, famous comedic character actress. We've had her appear on our show before in Bubble Boy, but this is a movie where she's playing a serious role. She's just the publisher woman who's just like, my hair's amazing, and you know it. And I agree, Swoosie. It's pretty amazing. Her name's Swoosie, by the way. That's her real name.
I just thought you'd be, like, mispronouncing
No, that's her real
Susie.
name. Swoosie Kurtz. She's one of those actresses that has appeared in pretty much
many things.
a lot of things, and you're just like, oh, her. Oh,
But
yeah.
You don't know, like, their name.
Same
or...
with the hitman. Chick is his name. Chick, the hitman
name's
pornographer. I saw him and I went, I know this guy from something. Looked him up.
Yeah,
He's
Sex and
in
the
everything. Sex and the City, Django Unchained, Dexter,
That's Chick.
Duplex. This guy's you know what his friend looks like? Discount Colin Farrell. Look at those eyebrows. They're like Colin
You
Farrell's
mean
eyebrows.
Cooper?
Yeah, Cooper. He looks
When
like
He's in Charlie's
What?
Angels as Drew Barrymore's ex-boyfriend.
Chad.
No, in the
Because
second
Chad's
one.
played by Tom Green.
No. The second Charlie's Angels.
Oh, Full Throttle.
When he's escaped from prison and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Irish brothers.
You know,
And he's
yeah,
like-
I remember this actually.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite thing about the Charlie's Angels movies are they were made around the similar time of Duplex. Is they're directed by a guy who calls himself Mick G,
Mick G.
who directed Terminator 4, Salvation, the least memorable. Oh, have you ever been sprayed with mace?
Have you?
No,
Like,
but
yes, on many occasions.
but I have tasted it.
Okay. Do you wanna?
My uncle is a policeman.
And he sprays me.
No, he has lemon flavored mace and he sprays it on his steaks that he cooks. So I've
Feel
tasted
like that's
mace.
A lie.
No, it's 100% true. He's not.
Because it's
he's
spicy,
not.
yeah?
He's not black
It's
like this
spicy.
policeman. Yeah, because it's spicy. It's got a lemony spice. Isn't that great?
No, that's weird.
You're weird, not eating mace. Well, if you wanted to eat mace and try a clapper, well, you guys, I've got some news for you. I've prepared some mace and I've got a
Look at her
clapper
being all
installed.
sweet. So sometimes you're like, oh, she's just clueless.
Yeah,
At
clueless.
the start.
But then the real trauma sets in for our main characters because they start to question their sanity and say to themselves, is she just a nice old lady
Is
or
she
we the
gaslighting
people?
us?
Is she gaslighting us? Great film, Gaslighting.
Okay, see, I think
Gaslight.
I got very confused because I wasn't paying attention to the bit when it mentioned that he was like a hitman.
Oh,
And
so
then
you're
he
like,
came
why
out
would they
with-
sing a pornography
Yes,
man
and then
for
he came
murder?
out 100%. Then he comes out with the DVDs, and then at the end when they're talking in the car, and they're like,
Yeah.
it'll be 25,000. I'm like, I'm so confused. Do they want him to go in
And
and,
have
film
sex?
a movie? Like,
So, I'm just gonna not beat around the bush. Kat said to me she thought this was a bad movie, but from the evidence that I'm being presented right now of Kat's viewing experience, it seems like Kat didn't put in the work that the movie needed, which is really unfair. And you know, that's what I think happened to why this is an unappreciated masterpiece.
Oh, the
because-
cinemas showed the YouTube version.
okay.
Well, no, I think it is a lot of people came in here with both a Bartek thing, which is, oh, it's a Ben Stiller, Drew Barrymore romantic comedy. It will be not at all
great.
about murder. And then they walk in and they're like, Kat, what? What's
Is it?
happening?
What's a duplex? Are you?
What? Who am I? Why am I here? What's this popcorn in my lap? Who
I
am
feel
I?
like this viewing experience is just very different to my first one. But I also ate a lot of
Did you eat when you watched this?
I took the movie. Okay, so it's like what, an hour and a half ish.
Less.
124, we'll say.
Close,
When
close.
I was
It's pretty
watching
close.
it for the first time, it just felt like it went forever. I kept having to take breaks. I was like, this movie's going for so long.
Fun fact, when one continues to take breaks during a movie watching, the movie becomes longer because you are in fact taking breaks. It sounds like all you did was
Was
make
just
this
pause and eat.
was make this harder for yourself.
Well, it wasn't
And then you
exactly-
come here and you're just like, the movie's problem is it was too long, except for I took breaks.
No, it just felt very long.
The
I'm
breaks.
not saying it was long.
Well, Bartek, you're a fan of the film,
I
obviously.
don't like his hair.
Who, Bartek's?
It's
Bartek, get the fuck out of here. Your hair sucks. And Bartek's gone. Now that he's gone, let's talk about that shit haircut he had. Oh boy.
I agree.
Thanks, Bartek's brother. How are you?
Yeah, right.
No,
What's Bartek's brother's name?
Latex.
Schnizhnig. What was that word?
Is Nick not?
Ziknik. Yeah, that one.
His brother's name is Disappear.
In Polish.
Disappear. So, Kat, if I was an elderly old woman that you could not evict
By
from...
the way, I've appeared now.
Thanks, Bartek. If I was an elderly old...
She's kind of bald on the top.
Well, a lot of old women, their hair thins, and that's a fact. You know, we can't all be like you and have a thick mane of hair.
Don't. Actually, now that my hair's getting longer, I've noticed like clumps, like.
What, the Eddie Murphy film, The Nutty Professor? His name was
they're
The Clumps.
Yeah, right.
Have you noticed them in your hair, have you?
Oh, she's.
Yeah.
Is she? Have you like Googled her?
She's
Is this-
dead.
Oh.
So, fun fact that actually, just because you mentioned this, this was her second or third film. She
Yeah.
first appeared in Ali
bless.
G in the House
Oh, really?
as Ali G's grandmother,
Oh,
I do
okay.
believe.
Yep.
She entered acting very late in age,
good
like
on
in
her.
her 70s or 80s, I think.
good on her.
Very old.
Must have, yeah.
Very old.
Because
One of
that's
the-
like a year apart from this film.
One of the trivia facts for this film is she died in 2015, I do believe.
I think so, yeah.
So the trivia fact was,
Oh.
if they stayed in
I read
the
this.
duplex, they would have, by the fact that the actress died in 2015, they would have had to have suffered her for 12 years.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
Mm.
She's an inspirational story for actors out there because she's
Oh, they've
someone.
changed the sheets again.
It's because it's a different. Hey, Bartek, why is that lamp near their bed? I don't know.
The mise en scene. What is it?
The mise en scene.
Mise en scene. It's great. Attention to
The production design game.
Look at those green plates matching that green fireplace.
Well
and the
done.
green
Look,
plant.
they washed the dishes.
Oh my god, she's got an Apple laptop. Coincidence?
Oh,
I
actually,
think
do you know
not.
what's
Apples
bloody
can be
gross?
Green and yellow and
We
red.
haven't missed the bit where she's like the woman stuffed like a chicken or a turkey or something down the thing, have we?
No, we haven't. That's
Okay,
quite
'cause
late
that
in the
was
game.
disgusting.
So you're saying, well, Kat, fun fact, I got a sink here full of chicken,
Ryan.
turkey juice that you can just
Yeah.
chug along, and then Bartek will vomit on your face.
Ryan, I'm shocked. You said
And appalled.
apples can be bread?
No. Red.
I thought you said bread.
Bread.
Well, you can make apple bread. So there you go.
This is crazy.
Are you... I don't know.
Oh, look, and it's autumn.
Are you gonna just point out all of it? Look, there's the tree.
Yeah,
that
au-
mean they're in the park. It
Autumn.
doesn't
Aren't
mean-
we giving a commentary of the
Yeah,
movie? I can
you're
comment
right.
on whatever I want.
Look at
in
those
the
guys
movie.
playing chess.
In America,
It's like a reference to Independence Day.
She already looks like she's getting sick. Look at her
Well,
little nose.
It's because she is sick.
Doesn't it
Of
happen
your
like that?
commentary.
Yours
No. I don't know, you're actually right. Why is she so red around the nose?
Yeah, I just
Well, she's
because you know how
sick
they
later.
get sick.
Yeah, but not
that's
now.
That's when he purposefully gets
This
the
is like
thing off the man
20
on the
minutes
train.
before that. Like, no, she's fine. Maybe
Oh,
you know
look
what
at
it
her
is?
Poking them all.
Drew Barrymore just had a cold. Bartek, in America, you're saying they do what?
well, it's not that they do something. In America,
They are.
They do things.
I think they do thing. But anyway, I was going to say that in America, autumn, when it ends, it's about to enter Christmas time.
And that's near the end of the movie when it's Christmas because they try to kill the old lady on Christmas Eve.
Oh, what a
Have you ever? So, Kat, what
sweet
I was trying to say before, if I was an elderly old
Oh,
Irish
yes.
lady
How
who
would I get rid of
lived
you?
upstairs from you,
And you had a pet named Little Dick.
and I had a pet named after my former
A
husband,
pet.
I don't know.
I don't know. Can you see me doing quotation marks?
No.
Okay,
and
what would I do?
what
Probably.
would you kill me?
No, I don't think I could kill someone. I'd probably just get
Catherine.
real passive aggressive.
Da! It's me, Mrs. Connolly, a character whose first name I'm pretty sure you'll never hear. Da! Imagine that. I don't think you ever hear her name. And do you?
She doesn't have one. She's like Madonna.
But that means that she's even more suspicious.
Her first name is Mrs.
You got me. The real twist is none of it's real. It's Inception. It's all a dream in Ben Stiller's head about a great movie he's going to do with Danny DeVito.
No, it's a daydream.
It's a Walter Mitty.
So speaking of chocolate, right?
Chocolate, yeah.
Have you ever... Okay, so
Have I eaten
when I
it?
was
Yes.
younger... No, because she's got like the big box with all the different things. When I was younger, I used to love those Whitman samplers, right? And the yellow box.
Yeah.
And you could get the big ones that were like this big.
And she's
If
for
you
you
tried
listening,
them as
which
an
is all of
adult-
you. Kat used her arms to show us how big,
I
and it
was
was very
showing
big.
you.
Yeah, but the audience is sitting here going, "I don't know what Kat's saying." So they're big boxes of chocolate. You're telling me?
Well, no, usually when you got them, they were like a normal chocolate box
Yeah.
size. But
You-
around Christmas,
They got biggie
they had these like huge,
tubs.
I'm going to say
2 meters.
60 centimeters.
That's
That's
your
a lot.
arm is more than 60 centimeters.
Surely not.
That's
Most
a meter.
most
That's not a meter. My wingspan is 150.
Okay.
Ish.
Hey Bartek, do you know your wingspan?
I know my wingspan because it is my height.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you know your height, you know your wingspan.
Yeah.
Classic old saying, you know your height, you know your wingspan.
Wingspan, as Mrs. Connolly would say.
They would be breaking all of her ribs right
What
now.
ribs? When you say they, you mean Ben Stiller, because
Yeah.
he was doing it like he needed to pump like insulin into her, or like
Yeah.
no, not
Ryan.
insulin. In Pulp Fiction, adrenaline, like stabbing them in the
Or
chest.
He does that on what's that? Horrible Bosses, yeah, and he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
stabbing him like.
Bartek, I'm Ryan. Yes.
Yes, you are. Were you getting flashbacks to Media Apocalypse?
Yes, we covered a film recently in which the character did the opposite of CPR in the way of he would just breathe into the person's mouth and not do the chest compression stuff.
Yep.
It's actually
in
more
this-
important to do chest.
Yes, in
compressions.
this movie they do the opposite. Mainly chest,
But
little
they,
air.
But they start with punching her.
Yeah. But also, is that how she was? Okay, so Drew Barrymore's
was.
got her hands on each kind of boob of the old lady. And
Yes.
it's like, is that how she was given?
Well, no.
Chest compressions?
At first she was doing them properly, but then she started to cough and wake back up, and then she stopped
And relaxed,
her hands.
Yeah, right.
Give Drew some defense there,
But
because
also,
she's
you
been an
probably
actress
shouldn't
since...
straddle someone when you're gonna give them chest compressions.
Well, no, obviously not.
No, obviously.
Because they'll get up and headbutt you. Drew Barrymore is an actress that's been around for decades. She was a child actress, obviously,
Was
mainly.
E.T. her first?
I don't know if it was her first, but she's most prominent from E.T. I came up with a realization about Drew Barrymore, about why she is so popular and why she's still a big draw even now. I think Drew Barrymore's talent as an actress, even from a young age, is being able to have chemistry with literally anyone or anything.
That's true.
She makes Adam Sandler redeemable.
What,
Because
50 First Dates?
Wedding Singer,
Oh, yes.
50
Oh,
First
yeah.
Dates, and Blended, a movie that's terrible, but
Haven't
Blended
seen
is the
Blended.
one that everyone goes, that movie sucks, but man, their chemistry is off the charts. Like, people have actually said how they married to other people. Like Adam Sandler and her have insane chemistry, but then I think, wow, she can make us believe in E.T. because really, it's how actors imbue their
And she's just
chemistry with
really
inanimate
likeable.
objects, and she's so likable. But it's like her chemistry with like the other Charlie's Angels makes us believe that she can withstand Lucy Liu, who was
Yeah,
a
right. Like,
complete
because
bitch.
without her, it wouldn't. Yeah.
Her talent as an actress is being able to have amazing chemistry with others.
everyone.
With anyone or anything.
Oh, I do
So
love
I can't
Drew.
wait for her to be in like one of those movies where it's nothing but like CGI characters and it's just to act against this green screen, and she'll give like the
she'll be
most
great.
beautiful chemistry
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
CG character ever.
Oh, do you know what's the saddest
Well,
thing?
Ryan,
She's
we've
in-
already had Matthew Lillard and Scooby-Doo.
Oh, you're right. He gave the best. Actually, you're pretty right on that.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard makes you believe that Scooby Doo's actually there. What were you gonna say, Kat?
Oh, I was just gonna say, what's the movie?
Duplex.
No,
It's
no.
a unit of space.
Old lady
It's
must
as
disappear.
Loose as a Dublin whore.
That's a great line. What's the movie with Drew Barrymore?
Oh, Ever After.
Yes, Ever After.
That's
Classic.
a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Love that movie.
Freddy got fingered.
She was in that, and as a cameo. Obviously Family Guy even. She can make you believe she's in love with Brian the dog, one of the most unlikable characters ever. So there you go. Drew Barrymore. What is it? What do you know her from, and what do you like about her? Because I know her from E.T. and Adam Sandler movies, and Family Guy, and now this.
Well, yeah, obviously Freddy Got Fingered. That's like the most recent.
You just keep mentioning this, Bartek. Is it like...
It's not even something I've seen that many times.
I've never seen it.
No.
Oh, it's an experience.
I mostly...
Is it like this?
No.
This good?
No. Honestly, Kat.
Is it an unappreciated masterpiece?
No. Kat, here's the best way to describe it. It's an anti-comedy.
Okay.
It's a comedy that
anti-art.
It's a comedy that hates you. It hates everything about you and why you're here to watch it. It despises you.
It loves animal penises.
It's gross. It's got every kind of offensive weirdo.
Who directed it?
Tom Green.
Right.
When
did Tom Green get popular?
90s. He was a Canadian comedian. He had his own public access show where he did all crazy stuff.
And everyone's like, he's in the shrine.
And then he became really popular with the college kids. Became like a cult figure. And then Hollywood went, let's bank on this guy.
Right.
No, in fairness, he appeared in a few things like Road Trip, the first Trip movie. And he was the most liked character in that. He has a famous scene where he puts a live mouse down his throat. He actually did that because it's Tom Green.
Oh, yes. No,
Yeah. So he became very popular as this cult comedian, basically not really the same, but how Zach Galifianakis exists.
Yeah.
Very different characters, but very different type of acting comedians, but very weird comedians, right?
Yeah. But in all,
and then they gave him millions of dollars to direct and write and do his own film, and he just pissed it down the wind.
The colleague. Oh my god, this is the worst.
You mean when he gets his laptop thrown into
worst.
a fire? Well,
your purse fell into the fire.
Was that your Irish accent?
No, that was just my
Your mum.
Clearly not the right voice.
It's okay. It was pretty...
I hate. You were
That's
like, the
Harvey
old woman's
Fierstein.
great. Oh, she just... When you're watching movies like this and they just constantly are doing things that frustrate you, I'm like,
But isn't that the point of her character? So isn't that why she's great, though?
Oh, no, I hate it.
But that's what you're supposed to. You're supposed to hate her. You're supposed to get annoyed by her. Her whole point is to be the antagonist.
Dad.
But isn't she doing a magnificent job? This is one of her first acting roles. I mean, isn't it inspirational? She used to be, she was an actual grandmother and all that. Always wanted to do acting, and then she never got the chance, but then she realized in later life that, you know what, I have the chance now, and she did a whole string of movies and TV shows, and...
So what else have you...
Ali G into House.
Yeah, you said that was the first.
I'm pretty sure she's in some Downton Abbey, I want to say. I don't know.
I know that
Downton Abbey.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure. I don't know.
I thought you said Talented Happy.
Yeah, I did too. I was like,
You know she's in Talented Happy?
Talented Happy. Yes, that one.
I can't remember, but she did a few other things, and that's great.
Yeah, and to answer your question, I mainly know Drew Barrymore from 50 First Dates.
That's it.
But I've also seen the Charlie's Angels films, and there's probably been other things as well, but just can't think of it.
Was look at her try and open this bottle.
I sent you a link for... Wait, no, was she in that? Yes. I was like, this should be on the list, and it's got Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore in a romantic comedy about football.
No, baseball.
Baseball.
Jimmy Fallon acts?
Yes. Yeah.
No, but the thing is, that came out, because I think that's what made me think this was so much older, is because the date of the other movie, it was only a year or two. I feel like the other one was 2005 or something.
Yeah.
But looking at them, I was like, this seems so much...
Newer?
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe it's just because how it's been filmed. Everything's so dark and grungy.
Well, here's a fun fact, Think about this. The film is on purpose. Danny DeVito's directed many great films in his career. This film's on purpose like that because it starts out bright and colourful, the cartoon.
And
but
then we're going to do the total opposite.
But then it drains away as the film goes on. When you get to the scene of him on the subway deciding that he's going to make himself sick.
It looks pretty bright here.
Yeah, because this is But then when they come back to this restaurant later on when he's having his breakdown, it's grayer and gloomier. You have the subway scene where he's deciding to get sick. It's shot like a horror movie.
Her hair's not as...
It's pretty good, though.
Bouffant.
No, but it's not because she's at a party. She's in work mode.
That's true.
See, look at this scene. It looks like a Holocaust movie. Seriously.
Have you ever been on the subway?
Have I ever been in the
This isn't
Holocaust?
This isn't the subway,
not
guys.
what I said.
This isn't the subway. This is the train to Auschwitz.
You know Ben Stiller's Jewish, right?
I've been to Auschwitz, so that's all right.
That answers my question.
I've been there twice.
Look at this. Now, if you reshot this into a horror movie for a trailer, it wouldn't be that hard. It's like, Ben Stiller must be sick in the head. And it's like him being like, I'm gonna wipe a poopy bum. And it's got like jump scare noises for every time he does a silly face.
On Robot Chicken, there was one sketch where it was just a parody of all the
Oh, did you see that little spritz of...
Yeah, I did.
parody of all the Spritz. No, parody of all the Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson comedies.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even mentioned Owen Wilson this episode once.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, now we have. Now we don't have to talk about him.
Now we can
You mean
leave it
all their
behind.
comedies?
Look
You
at them
mean the
just, like,
two
diddle,
that
diddle,
the three
diddle.
that they've been in, two of which are Zoolander movies, and the other is Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah, it just
that
feels
it?
like they work
That's
together
it.
more though.
That's it, baby. I'm pretty sure Owen Wilson's done like cameo things, maybe, or Ben's done cameos. Oh,
Probably.
Night at the Museum.
Of course,
Owen
yeah.
Wilson's in that, but he's teamed up with Steve Coogan.
Oh, or the Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller are both cameo in Anchorman. There we go.
Oh yeah, wait,
Don't they?
who's Owen Wilson?
Isn't he in there as like...
Owen Wilson's
oh, no.
an actor.
No.
He's a Wilson brother.
No, sorry, Luke Wilson does. I stand
Yes,
corrected.
and
when
Vince Vaughn.
When they have the big fighting
Yeah,
reporter
yeah.
scenes.
And they gave the Academy Award to that Australian.
Did they?
The what's that? The
Baz
short
Luhrmann?
film? No, the short animated film by that guy that's in Acme. What's his
Yeah.
name? Harvey
Harvey
Crumpet.
Crumpet.
Yeah. They presented the award.
That's cute. Now here's Kat's favorite scene of the movie.
Oh, it's just really gross.
Well, don't you like gross out humor?
You said here's cat. I'm like, that's a parrot.
Okay, the interesting thing is though,
It's actually a macaw or
is
whatever it
because
was.
because there's literally no. She thought that there was like a blendy thing in there,
A food, yeah.
whatever it's called. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
She thought that, and then she just kept chugging it down there.
just
Okay.
this. Hold on.
Yeah, you just want to watch Ben Stiller get vomited on the face.
You know, I
Yeah,
think
wait,
I think
ready?
Hold on,
for it?
look at his
Ready
dumb
for it?
face. Look at his dumb face.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this scene
So
has its own
milky.
upload on Movie Clips YouTube channel. So
Oh, I like that
a bubble in
came
the
out of her
nose.
I didn't know
That's
before.
that's Drew Barrymore's dedication because most
Oh,
actresses wouldn't do the bubble on the nose, but she did.
Well, that means it must. Oh no.
No, it
was
means she really vomited.
Yeah, it
she,
would have actually.
she looked at Ben Stiller's face and went, "Bleh." That was
for stuff to
improvised.
actually come out of her nose. No, but oh, he salivate. Gross.
Wait, can we look at his little his cutout of himself being like,
No, it's not a
"Well,
cut-
it's
wait,
a
is it a
cutout.
cutout
Yeah, no,
or
it
is
is
it the
because look at the
wallpaper?
shadowing. Look at the shadowing
Oh,
on
I
it.
thought-
Oh man,
It was
I
the
thought it was like
wallpaper.
a statue.
No.
It's the wallpaper.
It's a cutout of himself next to the wallpaper because the shadowing
being
on
like,
the lighting.
hey, buy this bridge.
It's me by this bridge.
By this bridge.
My mother lives there and she's gonna scam you.
Sounds like you're doing like what's her name, Mrs. Bighead.
This is a
from-
different restaurant. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not.
It's a different restaurant. It's not the same
Shut
restaurant.
up.
You're like, look at the lighting. And if
Oh
you
yeah,
look
yeah,
at the
because this is an
lighting-
Indian restaurant because we have my favorite scene here, which is him doing his Ben Stiller isms where you know how Ben Stiller reminds you that we evolved from apes? Do you ever look at Ben Stiller and go, yeah, we evolved from apes, definitely. Well, he does that thing where he makes his face all squinty and he moves his head from side to side when he's getting aggravated, and he talks like this. Oh, look at me, I'm Ben Stiller.
Ah, yes, that sounds like a monkey.
I gotta wipe a little poopy bum, and he's just like, Ben,
What is his poopy bum? What is that?
it's him right now. It's like,
but why
wipe
do
a
you
little
keep saying-
ass.
Oh,
I
wait a
see.
second. Owen Wilson was in Meet the Parents as well.
Yes, he was, as the
Ah.
ex-boyfriend.
Oh, you got some poopy on your diaper. Let me go.
Let me
clean
get you,
off
let me
my
go, you
tongue.
excuse me. And then you think this scene's going to keep going because he's escalated, yet an elderly Indian man just go, excuse me, and then scene ends.
Yeah, so many just like cut.
Well,
cut.
Danny DeVito is a pretty versatile director, but he has not done a whole movie in one shot. I'm pretty
Like
sure he didn't direct.
Birdman.
I'm pretty sure he didn't direct Rope. That was Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay. You could have.
Hey, it's me, Alfred Hitchcock. I'm also Harvey
Fierstein for some reason.
Harvey Weinstein was a producer for this film.
Oh, that makes it even more poignant now. So,
Okay. So
one
now they're trying to kill her.
with
I
salt.
don't understand. a little salt in her sugar bowl. How's that going to kill her?
Well, the shock of it will make her cough and hopefully give her a heart attack.
Okay,
Because she's like 1,000,000 years old.
Also, you can't discount the possibility that she's a slug.
Well, then why she even have salt?
Well, no, it's sugar.
Yeah,
no,
but
he
she has
poured
salt.
the salt into the sugar
She
bowl.
wants to kill herself, alright?
So when she uses the sugar, it's actually going to be salt.
How many grains of salt does it take to kill a slug?
1. No, I don't know. 2?
3. Actually, I don't know, though.
We have slug expert Kat Holder here on the scene. How many grains does it take? 1! And do you have any other skills? Yes, I'm a duplex expert. It's a unit
Well,
of-
okay, well,
Right, a duplexpert.
What about if it was like rock salt? So it's like a bigger grain.
Well, it would just weigh it to death. It would be so heavy on it.
Sure.
Because slugs are weak.
You can just crush them with a salt lamp.
Oh, look at poor Drew.
I like Drew. She's just, I don't know.
She's so likable.
She's, you know, it's really weird. You know, growing up, yeah, I had 2 versions of, well, 3, but mainly 2 versions of Drew Barrymore. You have little friendly kid Drew Barrymore from E.T., and then you have sexual awakening Drew Barrymore in Charlie's Angels. Because
Was that wasn't the gap? Was
no,
it?
but for me as a kid, think about it. Me growing up, early 2000s, my Drew Barrymore material, like most people's, would have been E.T. or Charlie's Angels.
What about Never Been Kissed?
Why would I watch that? I'm a boy.
Why would you?
Why-
Why would you not watch it?
But seriously, no, but you know what I mean? Like, it's weird that I have, like,
Oh
these
yeah, and then she's
2...
like in the relationship with Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell's
He's
too
great.
perfect in everything.
Have you seen Moon?
I love Moon, one of my favourite sci-fis. Glad he won an Oscar finally, but not for Charlie's Angels,
Oh, I
though.
watched something with him in it recently.
Was it called 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing,
It
Missouri?
was!
He won an Oscar for that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he plays a racist cop and won an Oscar. Bartek, have you ever had water damage?
Yes, actually.
Tell us more.
No, look at it.
The ceiling was damaged by the water.
What ceiling? The one at your house now?
Yeah. We had 2 ceilings that had been water damaged. The laundry one and the front room
I've
one.
never had water damage in my life.
Yeah, well, it's not as awful as it looks like in this film, but it certainly does, you know...
Well,
like
he's
the
using
ceiling-
acid,
Yeah, that is true, but
so give the film more credit.
it was mainly rainwater. Like, there was a hole in our roof, and then it leaked onto the ceiling over a long period of time, and we had to, like, renovate the ceiling multiple times because
Oh,
people kept messing up.
Oh, that's
But
terrible.
we eventually got around and fixed it properly.
My family built our house, and it's a hodgepodge of a house. It's got like things that aren't right, but the one thing they got right was the ability not to let it get water damage. Never in my life have I have to suffer any of that bullshit. But I see this movie and I go, wow. Maybe if I want to kill someone, water damage is the way to go. But I have to get acid, according to this
to
movie.
help it out.
And a 2-story house, yeah.
Oh,
You need
duplex.
first of all, you need a duplex.
have
And I was like, oh, new sheets. They've got brown ones.
well, no, they remember they sold everything at this point in the
No,
movie.
not yet.
Oh wait, no,
We
they still got. They
we
still
haven't
got.
had the
Sorry, so
emptying the house montage.
sorry. It's just why is was their bed always like looking like it's on the floor?
No, I think they moved. It used to be in the middle, but they've moved it out of the...
Okay. They
Because
just
remember the scene just before they were lying and dripping on
Yeah.
their face?
Also, yeah, probably to get out of the water. But then
yeah,
again-
yeah. I'm sorry, film. I deserve to give you more credit.
Ryan,
you make sense.
Ryan, you need to apologize to Mr. Peacock.
Mr. Peabody, Ben Stiller's penis. I'm sorry. You deserve all the love in the world.
So do you reckon
you.
Do you reckon they had one shot to get that right? And they were like, if you stuff... You know, like they make they have explosions?
If you stuff this
movies?
up, yeah. Well, Tropic Thunder had that.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
in the movie? Yeah. Imagine Danny DeVito.
All right, guys, we got one shot at this. Ben, don't screw up.
And he's like,
I don't know if that's...
let me just do a little poopy dance. And then Drew Barrymore's just like, guys, I can't.
Oh, look at her little
right now.
head thing. What is it, a little headband?
It's called a headband. It's a band for the head.
Did I not mention she's a slug?
That you did. You did. Plum? I can't plum.
You're not dumb?
Are you sassing me, Mr. Rose? He's not sassing you.
If you...
I'm just going to read all of the subtitles
That's
from here
good
on
commentary. It's good commentary.
Because you know, and I'm going to do them in, that eats chicken shit slumlords like you for lunch.
Please don't swear.
We're a clean podcast.
I didn't say anything. I said chicken spit.
You can't say that.
I didn't.
So, Bartek, I'm
No
not.
one under the age of 18 is listening to this anyway.
I'm not a policeman, but I'm not 100% sure that they have the authority to buy her a new TV and then make Ben Stiller pay for that TV. Do they? As a not policeman yourself, could you verify this information for me?
My uncle's a policeman.
As a
Oh, can we
policeman-
ask him? What's his name?
Justin. Polish Justin.
No, it's Houston. Houston, we have a problem. And then he gets in his little police car. I imagine, for some reason, I imagine he's got like one of those like kids police cars, and he's like bike pedaling it down the road. He's like, Bartek's got a problem. Houston on his way. Woo! It does his own little woo woo sounds. Is that your uncle? Can he buy me a new TV if you break my TV, and then you have to pay for my TV?
I love though that it's the same policeman dealing with them every. Because
What?
of course it's going to be.
Is corrupt. That's why.
They're like, who is it? Oh, it's the Roses. Better send.
Well, no, that's actually what
What's
it
this guy's name? Has it said?
It's Officer, yeah, they say it a million times. Now I'm forgetting. I think it's
Yeah.
Bill, isn't it?
Officer Bill.
I don't think so. I think it's Officer. They say his name like a gajillion times, and now I've forgotten because you asked me a good question. How could you?
You do have a good night now.
Now,
To answer your question, Ryan, no.
no,
No,
okay.
you cannot.
Now, as someone who's not a nurse, Cat,
Yes,
is
my mum's
it?
a nurse.
Oh, good. Ask your mum. When someone
Do we
has a
call her now?
scrotal injury, do you grab their scrotum with no gloves?
Well, how else are you going to feel it, Ryan?
How is he gonna feel it?
Yeah, sometimes the.
She.
Oh, and sexual healing is playing in the background.
Well, that's one thing I want to bring up. Throughout the movie,
good,
it will have-
solid soundtrack. You know.
it had soundtrack that came in every now and then, like oh, they're having sex on a rug, sexy music, like a sexy song.
Yeah, but they don't have background music at all. Like,
ever again.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like one of these cartoony, absurd things where it's like, the music kicks in, but it only does it twice. You know what they say? Rule of three, guys. Danny, I know you're a master of comedy. You starred in great films like...
Her eyebrows are thicker than they were before.
It's because she's Drew Barrymore. She's actually a werewolf, and the moon was a little bit brighter. She's actually... I would watch a Drew Barrymore werewolf movie. You know how they're doing like the Dark Universe with Tom Cruise as the mummy? Wouldn't you watch Drew Barrymore, the werewolf?
Oh, I would. For a second, I was like, "There's a Drew Barrymore werewolf movie."
Yeah, it's called Wolfmore.
Sure.
Drew where?
Drew, where
Oh, where Drew? And it's like a question mark.
Where Drew?
Where Drew?
It's a Shakespearean horror.
Where Drew? Wolfmore. And it's just like, oh no.
See, look how thin they are now.
It's because she's plucked them since that doctor scene. We don't know how many days have
No, honestly,
passed.
that doctor scene was probably filmed, obviously, at a different time.
No.
It was filmed after her cold vanished.
Well, this film takes place over a large span of time, so this scene here could be years later.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
No, it's not even Christmas yet.
You're right. Same Christmas. Oh, now this is a scene where we all realize she's evil, right?
Yeah, because she's...
I mean, obviously evil.
Clearly.
It's
That's
just smoking, right?
a lot, but in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that they were going to, actually tell her off because she was like, "I'm sorry, I can't help but have a fan."
Oh, I thought they were gonna suffocate
Well,
her.
you've never watched a Drew Barrymore or Ben Stiller movie because their characters are always non-confrontational, and when they do, it's pathetic. Hence, actually, a great pairing. I actually thought their chemistry was pretty spot on. Like,
Well, apparently they were both producers on this film, and they spent a lot of time together before filming. So they had an interview where they were talking about how, we get along so well, we got good chemistry, and they brought that into the film.
They've been in others. Have we discussed this already? Have they been in other stuff together?
not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of either.
You know what's great? You know how actors are producers sometimes, and you just don't know what they've produced? I was shocked the other day. I was looking up Drew Barrymore for this, and I was shocked that she produced Donnie Darko.
Oh, yeah, and she's also in it as the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forget that.
Great.
And then Danny DeVito was one of the producers for Pulp Fiction, and he's not in
Oh, I
Pulp
didn't
Fiction
know
ever.
that.
Yeah, if you watch Pulp Fiction, opening credits has Danny DeVito, producer.
Producer's always the kind of weird one, I guess. For
They're the money
lay
man.
people.
Yeah.
They're the money man.
It's like, they're not necessarily the person on set telling them what to do. They're not
Yeah.
acting necessarily.
But they,
They're more the
they,
behind.
but they can do behind the scenes stuff like Danny DeVito saying to Quentin, can you imagine him being like,
You gotta put more,
Blood.
short, bold men in the movie. You gotta put me in there.
and then he's like, oh, I don't know who I should put you as.
You know that character Marcellus? I think I could do a good job.
But you're not black.
Yeah, he probably had a speech about how he's not having fun and he wants to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I like her little hair braid. Oh, it's gone now. We'll have to see it again.
Yes, we will.
Have you noticed that her eyebrows are thinning?
Did you know Duplex is a unit of space? So,
He's gonna say my name, and then he's not, and that's a joke.
Tech. I'm gonna ruin it for you.
Tech. You are an avid fan of film, obviously, having had to do this show. I've made you an avid fan with choices of film.
I've
that
seen at least 5 now.
Who picks these?
I usually pick
You
them.
do.
Sometimes Bartek will say, hey, maybe this one will be good, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I feel like Bartek doesn't get as much say in this relationship.
Bartek does a lot. He watched the film.
He did.
I've watched every film we've done on the show.
He said to me, hey, you know Kat Holder? It's good that you thought of having her on the show, Ryan. And I'm like, yeah, pretty good.
I've suggested films before,
Yeah.
and I think some of them have gone on the list, not all.
None of them were
Like
Duplex.
Ass Patrol.
Ass Patrol?
I feel like saying ass just sounds unnatural.
Well, it's spelled
They are.
ass.
Well, look, it's an American film, so
Yeah, but
be respectful to it.
If it was ass, it would be with the R.
Why would
S-E.
us, as in you and me and her? Like,
All of us
What are you talking
together. Yeah, see, this is the bit where I got really confused.
Okay, so this is the bit where you're like, fuck, when did it turn into a Martin Scorsese movie? Can we not forget that Drew Barrymore was in Scream?
Yes.
She is
Wait, can we not forget?
Can we not forget? Lest we forget.
Let's.
And Zach's lest we forget. Yeah, Drew Barrymore's just been around.
Barrymore's great.
I mean, she's got her show now,
I have
the
not
one where
watched
she's
it.
a zombie
Yeah, the Santa Clarita.
diet. That's it.
Yeah.
And she plays a zombie who's a person, I think. I don't know, or
It's
vampire.
Like, I feel like it's like a Stepford mum, but zombie thing.
Stepford Mum.
Like Stepford Wives.
Oh, we've covered that on the show.
That the one with Nicole Kidman.
Yep.
Ah.
Stepford Wives was not featuring Drew Barrymore, but Glenn Close. You know, Glenn,
Yes,
she's
Glenn's
close.
great.
You know, Glenn, she's close.
it also had that Chris
Glenn
guy.
near Glenn Close. No, Glenn. Yeah.
Christopher
I
Walken.
said Glenn near and close. They're the same thing.
You know her middle
Glenn
name's.
far. Glenn close.
You know her middle name is not any option of distance.
What's her middle name?
I don't know. But it's not that.
Sam.
Sandy.
Sandy. Actually, Glenn Sandy
Glenn
Close would be a
Sandy
great
Close.
name. So this is where Kat completely got lost in the film. She's like, okay, why are they wanting to hire the guy from Dexter and Sex and the City to be a porno man for this film? Well, here's the reason why. Ben Stiller had a great idea of, you know, people are having sex tapes now. How about we do a sex tape, you and I, Drew Barrymore? And she's like, no, not at all. It's like, too bad. Danny's already got the camera over here. And Danny's just like, it's me.
No, like I got onto it that they were gonna get him to kill her, but like at that very first moment, I was like, he's the porn guy.
I'm sorry, I just realized his book is called Murder at 11:17 p.m.
This one.
Yeah, his book is called Murder at 11:17 p.m.
17.
Isn't that great?
Dental surgery.
It's a prime number 17.
That's it. You got it. So, Bartek, I was going with, you're an avid lover of film, and we've covered a lot of films on this show. You know, comedies, very much so. What was it about this film that kind of broke away from the mold and format that most of the comedies, especially around this era, were doing at the time?
I appreciated from this film the fact the I appreciated in this film that the antagonist really didn't get her comeuppance.
she wins.
Yeah.
100% wins.
It's because she's cute and old.
Oh, cute old people always win.
They always win.
That kind
Hear
of
that, hear that, Donald? You're gonna win.
that kind of was a thing with
I
the.
said cute.
Geez, I'm the only one not drinking water. Anyway,
Sorry, Bartek. Let me just hear that again. Sorry, that was an intense drinking water session.
Have you ever watched this show? It was on. Okay,
Called drinking water.
No. So it's like a radio. It's like a radio show in the UK, and they just like play funny innuendo bingo. They play clips
No.
from TV shows that are like innuendo. So it's like a gardening show or something. To be like, just put your hand in this bush, dear, and stuff like this. And the people who are listening to them have cups of water and they fill their mouth with water.
Oh, I
and
get
they're sitting
it.
opposite each other. It's really funny.
That's where we got the inspiration for this
For the
bit
podcast.
from.
They have to.
We got inspired by Kat's story about this other show. So Bartek,
And sometimes they get celebrities.
you appreciated the fact that the villain wins at the end. Is that what breaks us apart from other American-made, Hollywood-made comedies, even with Ben Stiller in them?
well, I think at the very least, it breaks from the mold of, you know, the good guys kind of come on top in the end. Like, they make a huge loss in the end. They almost don't really know what to make of their whole journey. It has a kind of poignant life lesson, I suppose, that not everything
Can be murdered.
can end
Well-
in, you know, positives.
It's interesting though because they're also not really even the good guys. Still.
No,
You know what I mean?
they
like none
leap-
of them are good.
Like,
I
no
mean, I know
no
that
one's good in this. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
good person.
Yeah, well, they're
Yeah.
definitely protagonists, but that doesn't necessarily mean
I
they're good
know.
guys.
No,
Yeah.
no. But yeah,
I
it's interesting.
agree with you. I think one of the things that elevates us to a different stature to a lot of comedies even now, and ones that came out then, was the supreme dark nature underlying the film. It's a soft comedy, sure, but really think about it, it's a comedy about an elderly old lady living upstairs
And a couple trying to kill
and a
her.
couple
Yeah.
trying to brutally
not
murder
not
her.
That sellable.
And
Well, trying to
it's-
make her zniknonj, to
but
be fair. But...
and
Nicknonge.
also
Say that 3 times fast.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Zniknonj.
No, okay, you screwed up that last one.
I think
there.
I did, yeah.
You know Danny Kaye.
It's because the Polish has the sound.
So you screwed it up. It's okay.
It's
bud.
hard to do the sound.
But what I was going to
multiple
say
times
was,
fast.
it's interesting how this film shows the decline and decay of our main characters, of how they get to the point of performing such horrible actions, but it's still done in a comedic fashion, and that is a staple of Danny DeVito's directorial work. He always has light films that you think are light and fluffy, but with a dark sensibility. Matilda is
Yeah.
quite a dark movie,
It is,
and
actually.
Roald Dahl is Roald Dahl is an author. Well, that's what he does. What he did naturally too. Where you give these cutesy kind of things, but then they get really dark.
Quite sardonic.
I suppose.
Exactly. Sardonic is a great way to
shot in the chest.
describe Danny DeVito's directorial work. Throw Mama from the Train is a movie about Danny DeVito wanting Billy Crystal to kill his mum. You know, you have War of the Roses, Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner fall in love, and then they fall out of love, and then they try to kill each other. And Matilda, a girl who has carry powers, but the principal is just so evil.
I suppose you can kind of compare this film to the erotic thrillers that we've done on the show. And
I also got aroused.
and Lakeview Terrace, in the sense that there's like kind of a cohabitation thing with a person that's clearly the antagonist and other villains, but in those films, those antagonists, you know, die.
Yes.
They,
Right.
even if the main characters don't necessarily come out happy, they do have that sense that at least the problem's over. Like, yeah, these characters, they get away from her, but
But she still wins, technically.
but she
Yeah.
absolutely wins in the end.
And he's like, well, I'm just going to take it with me.
Well, wouldn't you? It's attached to the gun and to his shoulder.
To my shoulder.
Yeah. And what I was going to say earlier was...
Poor bird in all the smoke.
Well, it's okay. It survives.
Poor little dick.
You know, there's a website, Does the Dog Die? In which it's a site that tells you if the dog dies in the movie.
Oh, so people like don't watch.
Yeah, so that they can avoid. And one of the first movies on there was Pacific Rim. It's like, the dog lives, and they have the dog's name.
What I was gonna say earlier was because this is like the third layer of what I was gonna say was
You want to make it a fourth?
no.
This is when you go, oh, they're actually nice people.
Never mind. Yes,
No, I just
How
got,
about
look, they
we-
save her.
How about we go for 5?
I'm never gonna bring up the Roger Ebert review now.
Tell us about Roger.
back. Rewind.
Suck your eggs, Ebert.
Continue your story, Bartek.
Hi, it's me, Roger Ebert. I'm a loser. Go on.
So I mentioned earlier that the Roger Ebert review gave it 2 out of 4. He didn't seem to hate it, but at the end of the review, he talked about how one of the things that was unbelievable or something that you couldn't really empathize with was that the old lady still comes across throughout the whole thing as a nice old lady.
Yeah. Isn't that, I thought that was awesome.
Did we miss the scene where they sold everything in the house?
We talked over that scene, yes. Because the film is
disappointing.
now ending.
Yeah, it's
Because
Christmas.
they sold all their stuff to pay for the hitman. Who
yes,
failed.
that's true.
Bartek, Roger Ebert can suck some eggs. Because that
What do
sounds
you-
like
Roger,
lazy.
What are you saying?
Roger
Roger
Ebert.
Ebert. Because you're saying like Roger Ebert, and I was like, is that his last name?
Who cares? He's dead.
His last name's
Oh,
Ebert.
is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He died from sucking it.
Rude.
Cat.
Imagine if they made another movie, Duplex Do,
No, it would be called
You-
Truplex.
Truplex.
And it would be like a true story film. So, Kat, if Bartek and I were a happy couple, and
If you-
we
who's
were
the Drew?
moving, I'm the Drew, and
you're the
Bartek's
Ben?
the Ben,
And I'm the...
and we were moving into no, we're not even them. We're moving into a duplex that you've moved out of because an elderly old lady has driven you out of there. Would you tell us?
No.
You wouldn't.
'Cause
Seriously.
I'm trying to sell the place.
Yeah.
Or warn them. No, because
Yeah, it's
like,
hard,
would
right?
you warn them? Because they don't know that she's evil. They don't know about the whole plot, so they can't be.
Yeah,
like,
but they can still be like, Mrs. Conley's fucking nuts.
yeah.
So you're going with...
Hey, keep it G-rated, man.
We've sworn throughout all of this. So you're saying on a level that you would go with the unethical approach of not telling them because you
if
want
I
financial
was-
gain.
So I'm Ben and Drew, and I'm selling this place right now to you, the
Yeah.
couple who was just on the steps, which is you two, right?
Hi. Yeah.
Hi.
Wait, I
like,
thought
I've
we were Ben and Drew.
Yeah, no, we're the couple moving in.
Oh, okay.
I'm Ben and Drew. Both.
She's both.
I'm both in one.
You can be both.
Who's the parrot?
None of us are the old lady or parrot.
My right hand.
Okay. Now it's spring.
Yes,
So
spring has
how-
sprung.
Well, so it's been.
Winter, autumn, spring, summer.
Yeah.
That's
No,
how
I
America
know.
works, isn't
Okay,
it? I don't
listen,
know how
The
it
previous
works.
scene where they were just so like, what's the time difference between that last scene and here? Because in that last scene, all of the trees in the street, it did a shot of the street.
Yeah, it
coming
was
into
all
the house.
decrepit
It
and-
was all grey. No.
Well,
no
a lot of
leaves,
time has
nothing.
passed because they've repaired the duplex.
But they're wearing the same clothes.
No, they're not.
It's that last scene.
Oh, it's the one that we just saw of them selling the
Yeah.
place? Well, no, that's what I'm going to say. When they sell the place, they've had several months, obviously, because they've repaired the whole duplex. And this is a park. So look at that tree there. Not much leaves on it, but the park with all the shrubs and flowers sure do. So, there you go. No, I'm pretty sure that these two
Oh
are
yeah,
gay.
I would not tell you. I wouldn't tell you. If I was them and I'm trying to sell the house and get out quick,
What a bitch.
I wouldn't tell you.
What a bitch.
Would you? As if you would.
I would, or at least tell them after I've done it. Yeah, look, see? They're gay. He's holding his arm there. See? They're a gay couple. Because they're doing this so that they can finance their dreams of vacationing and being rich and whatever, using
Lovely.
the mother
Wait,
as...
how many people have went to?
Oh, tons.
12,
This, no,
15.
this would have been decades of work.
Yeah, because some of those pictures.
Not
are
decades,
black
maybe
and
a
white.
decade
Look
or
at this
two of work.
terrible Photoshop stock photo.
Well,
thing.
no, they actually took that photo.
But it looks really fake.
Well,
Wait, did they really? Is
yeah,
that a fact?
yeah.
Is this like a
Fun fact.
IMDb
Fun fact.
fun
Ben
facts?
Stiller appears in photographs.
Oh, and then
He's
Danny
not a vampire.
DeVito, and then Danny DeVito comes back in with the thing at the end.
Fun-
And did they live happily ever after?
Read the
I
book.
don't know.
Fun fact. Fun fact. Ben Stiller is not a vampire. He appears in photographs because you're watching him in a
Produced
film.
by Drew Barrymore.
Well, of course,
you go.
and Harvey Weinstein and his brother Bobby.
Bleh.
Well, Bob's all right. He didn't do anything.
Good
What
job.
about Alan C. Blomqvist?
Lindsay Blomqvist. What's
or
that
Anastas
name?
Mikos?
So
Or Lindsay Klingman?
that's the end of the film. The credits are now.
My ears hurt.
Your ears
From all your bloody yap.
suck.
No, like headphones hurt my head.
It's because Kat's got a very tiny head. Like
No,
Kat's
that
got one of
shouldn't
the
make a wouldn't it be
smallest
worse?
heads because headphones will be compressing your head more because your head's
No, that
so
makes no
tiny.
sense.
Makes 100%
Makes the opposite
sense.
of sense.
So the film has now ended.
What a journey we've been on.
We're gonna give a little, kind of like a little review of the film.
Oh, I see.
And a rating out of whatever we want. A rating can be anything you want it to be.
9 out of 10 cats.
Yeah, or concepts.
Oh, I see.
I gave a film.
Oh,
a,
Swoosie Kurtz.
Kurtz. I was 100% right.
Yeah.
Wallace Shawn, great job, Wallace.
Amber Valletta.
Sure.
She's a she's a model,
Yeah, okay, Bartek, you know me. I know models. Woo!
and she was in
Duplex,
She was in
which,
Duplex, which
is
is
a
a unit.
film about a unit. Bartek, I'd love to hear.
Oh wait, were they not married? Or maybe they were. But
No,
she
they
didn't
use
take his
their
last
they
name.
didn't they use their own last names because of their professions.
I
So
see.
because she was I guess a writer, a magazine editor,
he was a
and he was a
writer.
writer, so they used their own last names.
Yes.
I think she even had a go. Oh, look, 3 birds, 4
Four,
birds
Brian.
played the one bird.
Picasso, Gwils, Bugsy, and Maestro.
I thought it was Giles.
Gwils. My favorite character from Buffy was Gwils.
Well, Giles wasn't spelled with a U on Buffy, was he?
No. And it was Giles. So Bartek, I
Giles is
love
great.
Anthony Stewart Head.
Yes.
Yes, his
And everyone
daughter
thought
is.
he was dead, but he's not.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So Ryan,
Anthony-
as you were trying to say, Ryan.
Yeah, as I was trying to say, Anthony Stewart Head's daughter
let me
is the
interrupt you
lead
one more
interest in the Inbetweeners, the TV show. The romantic love interest of
Oh, I haven't.
the show is his daughter, and she's banging.
I haven't seen enough of it to know who
Bartek,
she is.
I'd love to hear a review and a rating from yourself.
You know what, Ryan? I think I can give you one.
I'm happy. Give it to me. Give it to me, Bartek. Right in my ear hole.
And all the girlies say, I'm gonna review Duplex. Sneak knowledge. This film was amazing,
Yeah.
I think,
Lee terrible.
at being...
Is this your review, lady?
This film...
been amazing.
No, she's right. This film is amazingly terrible at being a bad film. It did a really good job.
Well done, Martin.
It's...
Can we go, Bartek? Can your rating be how many interruptions you've had out of how many interruptions you're going to have by the end?
Am
Wait,
I
is
on-
this just by me or you? Because your count's at least triple.
And are we counting every...
Wait, is this Spit and Polish or the Ryan
Are we doing?
show?
Are we talking about the amounts of times I've been interrupted in the whole run of Spit and Polish?
Fuck, I'll be like in the millions.
Yeah,
You interrupt yourself sometimes, though, so give yourself some.
that's
blame.
called tangents.
Or forgetting.
Anyway, this film, which is amazingly terrible at being a bad film, therefore being a good film, teaches us a lot of lessons about life. It teaches us that not everything works out in the end for the good guys. Things might always go even more south than you're expecting, but to remember that in the end, you're still alive, you still have a life to live, which is funny because when you think about it, the word alive has kind of a life thing in it.
Yes, it is.
It's a clever bit of wordplay that I'm pretty sure Danny DeVito was purposely putting in there.
And evil.
Evil? Oh, right, because it's live
Backwards,
backwards. Could also be live backwards. This film, as you can tell from my co-hosts here and guest, it is a funny film.
Yeah.
It is a film that inspires us all. Even if you didn't understand it in your first viewing, or even if you might have missed something, even if you've seen it 2 or 3 times before, you can still get something more from it. And I know you can say that about any film, really, but I think the important thing with doing it for this film is the fact that it gives you something you don't understand or just don't want to admit about your life.
I agree.
And I think that as a result of that, it is worth the view, and it is worth the pedestal of being an appreciated masterpiece.
That's right.
This film deserves a rating. This film gets a rating.
Yes.
The rating that I am going to give this film is 99 units. Full stop.
Okay, I didn't expect it to go there. I would love to hear from Kat, the not Tom Greenholder, and your
non-believer
review and rating of the film Duplex. Or Duplex?
Duplex.
Or
Duplex.
Duplex.
Duplex. You know,
Or
great,
Diplex.
or
See, Nanny.
Duplex. You know, great attention to detail. I did notice several, you know, changes of sheets, which is good. Also, though, I think it's because there was a lot of shots of them in bed.
Yeah. I've been to bed.
It's a
We all have a bed.
it's a motif of the film.
Unless
Yeah,
you're
it
homeless
is.
and you're listening to this and you don't have a bed, then I don't discriminate, man. Yeah.
Even the main character slept on the floor at one point.
Yeah. And that could be you too, man. I don't judge.
Okay, so me and my friends, when we were younger, when we were teenagers, we used to have... You've said fucked, so I'm going to say shitty. We'd have shitty movie nights.
Oh, we don't allow that kind of wordage around here. We would say shit hard.
Wait, hold on. Was she swearing?
No.
Oh, no, that's allowed. Swearing's allowed.
Ah, okay. So what's not allowed?
Nothing, man.
Nothing. Okay. And we
Just
would
positive
enjoy
vibes.
watching terrible movies so that we could make fun of them.
Yeah, I understand that concept. The internet.
Wait, what? What is that concept?
Well,
What?
it's
What are
called
you
the
tweeting at?
it's called the internet
No,
now.
this
Should
was
we-
before,
should we try that
This was
sometime?
before
No.
the internet. Remember,
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
whole 3 years older
Yeah,
than you, so
yeah.
the internet didn't
It was
exist
like
back then.
1990, and she's like, I was 27 years old.
I was 27 in 1990, and I
Oh, Inspector Gadget's back as well.
that's not anyway.
The original one.
I would probably not watch this movie again.
But others should.
But others, you know, if you are intrigued by a... What's the genre of this? Like...
Comedy?
It's
Black-
just black
black
comedy?
comedy.
Okay.
Black comedy?
But like but sometimes black comedy is usually like kind of super offensive.
No,
like-
they can just be
It's
dark in comedy.
I'd say it's like a light black comedy.
a grey
a grey
comedy.
comedy.
Like this. I know it's.
That's
That's a
blue.
navy blue,
That's-
dude.
that- I
Your
wouldn't say it's
shirt he's
navy.
pointing at. It's a navyish
Your
blue.
pants are
Yeah,
grey.
you're right. Yeah.
Your
Your grey
pants are
pants.
grey. It's like
My
okay,
soul's
I'm gonna
grey.
give it a rating of 1 pair of Bartek's grey slacks
Can we talk you up to 2 pairs?
for do.
Dude, that's like 4 pant.
Can we talk you up to 2 pairs?
Okay,
Because you
so-
have to give it better. Can we talk you up to 3? Because you have to give better than Roger Ebert did.
Roger. Wait, what did he give?
2 out of 4.
Oh, okay.
So that's half. You have to
Wait,
give
why
like
doesn't it
3.
have to be better than him?
Because Roger sucks, and you don't
Because-
suck as much as Roger, do
because-
you?
because
He
Kat-
died because he sucked.
Well, opinions
Kat, you
are
know that-
subjective.
You know that you're
and-
better than Roger Ebert, right?
Come on, Caddy.
Am I though?
You're the Siskel.
Okay, I will give it.
Yeah. Come on, give it. Give it to me. I'm sorry. I was having flashbacks of Roger Ebert saying Full Metal Jacket would be a forgotten movie because yeah,
We
because
were speaking about Full Metal Jacket last night.
yeah, because Ali Omi died recently, the drill instructor. He died recently. That's sad. Loved you, Ali. Yeah, no, sorry. He was just saying it was going to be forgotten because
Because Roger Ebert.
because
knows
that
everything.
other movie came out, the one with Willem Dafoe in it, and he's screaming. He's like, no!
Spider-Man.
No. Roger Ebert didn't like Spider-Man either. Go on. He didn't like shit.
I'll give
So how many pants are you giving it?
how many pairs of pants. No, okay, I'll give it 3. You know what I'm gonna say?
I'm tuning you. I'm saying
I'll give it a bang, bang, bangity, bang, bang.
that's it.
Great.
Out of 5 slacks.
Out of 5 slacks.
It's a good review.
Bartek,
No, it's your turn.
I'm going to say that.
Bartek, I would like you to listen to me as I give my review.
I was actually going to say this. Bartek, I'm very proud of Kat for giving her rating a proper one this time round because we gave her a
This
few
time.
chances. We
This
gave her
is last time.
we gave her a few chances, and
1 out of 5.
she gave a good job. Now that's my review of Kat's rating. Now,
My review of Ryan is
now my rating and review will be
Pretty
coming
tall,
up-
covers the sun.
My review of this film is Duplex. Yes, it's a fun film. Yes, it's a black comedy. It's directed by Danny DeVito, and one of the things that Danny DeVito doesn't get enough credit for as a director is he's always very slick and efficient in his directing. His actors are always good. His production design is always good. His cinematography is always intrusive, but interesting at the same time. Because I say intrusive
agree.
because it's always very close, very, very, very confronting. You know, you have those shots in Matilda, say, of people eating cake, and you never thought you'd be as disgusted by a shot in your life.
Like so close to the
You have
little
this,
kid's face.
you have this scene. You have a scene in this movie where they're just doing a simple mouth to mouth, and it's so disgusting and gross, and it's wonderful. Danny DeVito is a very talented and skilled director, and he gathers up very talented and skilled performers, you know. And he doesn't just use the A-listers, you know. You have for this film, you have an unknown elderly woman being the lead antagonist. This film kind of relies on how much you like her or not like her. It relies on her performance primarily, and she's an unknown actress to most people back then and to people even now. It could have been so easy for him to have chosen a well-known older actress like Betty White or
Helen Mirren
or
Maggie Smith,
or if you wanted to go weird, you could get like you could get
who's another old.
I was gonna say the chick from Young Frankenstein, the one who plays Frau Brooker, forgetting her name, but like the other. She's Malcolm's grandmother in Malcolm in the Middle. Forgetting her name, I love her. Cloris Leachman. You could get Cloris Leachman to play it, and you know that would be great. But he relied on unknowns and lesser knowns, like Harvey Fierstein to play the real estate agent. He's one of those character actors that when you see him, you go, "Yes, he's in it." I love this guy. He's always that kind of guy. And if I had to give this film a rating, which one does, Kat?
I gave it a rating.
A proper one, though.
I did eventually.
I would have to give this a I'm sorry, Bartek, for interrupting you out of I'm not actually sorry, Bartek. It will continue to happen in the future.
I feel like
to which I respond with, I forgive you. Oh, wait, never mind.
No. You should do it like, say it again, like, I forgive you.
I
No. Say it like you're going to say the whole sentence.
To which
I
I
know.
would respond.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Bartek.
Oh, wait, I don't.
There you go. Never mind. Now, Kat,
Yes.
the show is about to be over,
How
but
long has this been?
it's only been like 2 hours.
Oh my god.
The movie goes that long. Bartek
I think it's
has...
the longest time I've ever spent with you both.
Nah, that's wrong.
I mean,
We went to university
Yeah, but
with
like
you.
directly, do you know what I mean?
Well, that's your fault.
I guess,
We've
yeah.
always been there. Where were you? Where were you?
Better places.
Wow, that's
No, I
her
never
review
skipped
of the
a day in my
podcast.
life.
Ryan, were you by chance about to say that?
No, I was insinuating it's at university. Don't take it so personally. Oh my god.
Wow, I am getting interrupted for real, like unironically there. I was gonna say, ironically, I was gonna bring up the fact that I was getting interrupted.
No,
No, you don't have to.
no, tell us how you
Ironically.
feel. Erotically, tell us how you feel.
I was gonna say,
Aroused.
hey, people listening, put down another number one for the counter of how many times I said I was going to say.
That's your catchphrase.
You should like add a note at the start, like fun fact.
Bartek.
Guess how many times Bartek gets interrupted?
Fun fact, I'll put a ding noise every time. And then one time, that's going to be the interrupting noise.
Just put it in post.
That's work.
So Ryan, were you about to say that the guy who gets interrupted is now going to be the one speaking the most for this ending?
Yeah, Bartek has the joy of presenting to us comments from the YouTube
Ooh,
for this film that
that's
are
fun.
found from the trailer.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Or maybe a copy of the whole film that Kat watched. I don't know.
It could be.
Bartek has found strange and or unusual and or maybe positive comments.
Are you on the YouTube?
He has selected them
Oh, I see.
beforehand.
Oh,
Bartek,
I see.
let's hear what YouTube has to bless us with. Because it's a lovely place with lovely people. Kat, you know it. The internet's
The
not...
internet's great. Always read the comments.
OMG. The first time me and my best friend saw this movie, we were laughing our asses off. I gotta show this to one of my friends. I don't think he's seen this one before. That was 13 years ago when this came out.
Which friend are they going to show it to? Do we get to know, Kat? We'll never know. It could have been you, and that was me writing it. I was like, Kat needs to find out. Bartek?
The next comment is, man, I so want to teabag that old lady.
That is disgusting.
Well, she likes tea.
I'd love to pour a cup of tea for that sweet old lady.
Well, if
That's not what
if
I
you actually
mean.
believe that, Kat, you might have written the next comment.
Oh,
Very LOL movie. You better watch it. The old lady is adorable.
Very LOL movie.
It's very LOL.
What else did I say?
Kat wrote all of these. Fun fact, Kat is YouTube.
The next comment is in all lowercase. Grandma scares me.
Grandma scares me.
The next one is in all caps. Grandma scares me.
It's done, and then a lowercase one again. It's like an echoey effect. Grandma scares me. Grandma scares me, and just keeps going.
And then
like that.
scares me.
This next YouTube comment is a little different in the sense that it is not so much a comment, it's a review.
Oh.
Yay!
And it's not so much from YouTube, it's from IMDb.
Oh,
because
right.
there are barely any YouTube comments regarding this film
Oh,
on
really?
YouTube.
Wait, so were you on the you looked on the trailer or the film?
I went to multiple different videos on
there's just
YouTube,
no-
and there are very few comments in all of them.
Well, I'm sure IMDb has a pleasant perspective on it.
I just picked one, just so I can get my little quota of a full page of Word.
Nice. Hit me in the teabag.
This
Teabag me, Bartek.
I messed up a little bit in that I didn't put the rating, but I remember that it was either a 1 or a 3 out of 10.
Oh.
Well, they're very different.
This
They are very different. How can you get stuck on whether it's 1 or 3? Like
because I read 2 different reviews and one was
Oh.
one. But it's okay, Ryan, because the title of this review is I really, really disliked this movie.
Kat, was this you?
Okay, it was.
It is from August 14, 2005,
Oh.
and it warns of spoilers.
Oh no!
Guys, if you haven't watched this movie beforehand, you better fucking shut this off now because spoilers.
And you know
alert,
what?
spoiler alert.
Nowadays, IMDb, you have to actually click a thing
Yes.
to actually see if it has
I
spoilers.
hate it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I rarely feel the urge to comment a movie, but this one really got me angry. In all caps. Maybe that was the point, but I do not enjoy being angry. I prefer leaving a comedy happy. Do yourself a favor and skip this one. Watch the news or some commercials instead. Trust me, it's better.
What's the news? What's the news? Where's the spoilers?
I like Ben Stiller and really love Drew Barrymore, which was why I watched this movie at all. It starts off with a sweet background story and a very sweet couple you root for as the bad luck begins. All caps and 3 exclamation marks. Here be spoilers!
Jesus.
Are you ready? Spoilers!
Was all caps and 3 exclamation marks.
He
It has to be done.
warned
Okay.
you, Kat. I mean, he did say.
Okay.
You were the weak one there.
Being a comedy, I was
They were hoping.
Yes, I was hoping into the very end it would have a happy ending. Instead, I was more and more frustrated, irritated, agonized, and angry. 3 exclamation marks, a weird symbol I've never seen before, %, and then another weird symbol I've never seen before. I really hate movies which base their humor on the misery of others. Even more so if the misery is partially due to stupidity. What annoyed me first of all, how the couple tolerated the mistreatment. And why on earth they didn't respond with the same medicine. Annoy the lady even more. Make her miserable. Beat her at her own game.
I don't like
And-
comedies with misery. I'm sticking to that line as he's describing. Give her misery.
And the story was weak and transparent. It was apparent early on that the lady was doing this intentionally, and that the house salesman was in on it. Or enter...
Spoiler.
Spoiler. They like Ben Stiller. Shh. Don't tell anyone.
Or enter Hitman, for when they would be desperate enough to think that was a good idea. The only surprise was their lame idea to wreck the house so she might leave. For a second, I thought they were finally going to make her life miserable, only to find out they were trying to electrocute or gas her to death. And then in brackets, ever heard of life sentence for murder?
No.
In the end, they wrecked their house, were humiliated and tortured, in brackets, sleep deprivation is an effective kind of torture, lost their jobs, sold everything they loved, paid repairs and new TV for the lady, sold their house at a huge, huge loss, and on top of that left seeing the lady dead just when they've signed over the house. The last happy scene is just a joke in my face. / end spoilers!
That's it.
I have no idea if anyone cares enough to read my entire review. But if you are a fan of Drew Barrymore or Ben Stiller, do yourself a favor and do not see this movie! It is a complete waste of your time and will only leave you disappointed. Now, if you are a 14-year-old who enjoys killing ants and who laugh when your friend falls and breaks a leg, then this is your cup of tea.
Fun fact, when I was 14, I liked breaking legs and killing
No.
ants.
When your friend falls and breaks their leg.
Well,
You don't
I would. Well,
physically
but
break
if I'm following the logic of this person, I would be the one that broke that guy's leg. Because this guy's like, I hate misery in my comedies, except for it would have been better if they gave her literal misery. Great job, Bartek, for reading that brave person's IMDb review. They thought, Kat, when they wrote that back in
Could have
2005,
been me.
no one would have read it.
No.
But we did, buddy. Stay
We
true to
did.
yourself. I mean, I didn't like your review. I think you're wrong, but that's okay. An opinion's an opinion. Yours is wrong, but whatever. Whatever. It's fine. You know what was fine, Bartek?
Not being interrupted. That was fine. It was a very sour way to end, but...
The end. No, this is a fine time to be alive watching Duplex. Kat, you were a fun guest. First timer. Have you done a podcast before?
No. I've had 2 radio interviews, though.
Well, that's different to a podcast.
3 radio interviews.
Okay.
Oh, now we're getting
I thought you were
in
going to stick to do interviews. And
No,
then...
Trey.
Shit.
Treyplex.
So, it was fun to have you on. Thank you very much for being a guest on the show. Hopefully we'll see you again for another amazing film to cover down the line.
Yeah, it depends on the movie.
It will be great. Bartek, as always, an amazing hosting job by yourself when you weren't interrupted. And when you were, you took it like a champ by bringing up the fact that you weren't taking it well. Brilliant job, buddy. And myself, well, I'm good at interrupting, but I'm also good at talking. And isn't that really a strength?
And also the same thing.
Well, you can interrupt without talking, buddy.
Maybe you need to work on your interrupting skills, Bartek, and Ryan, you need to work on your shutting up skills.
How about no? We have a dynamic.
But how can I interrupt him if he shuts up?
Oh, that's
Exactly.
true. Okay, you keep talking, Bartek, you just interrupt me.
So, there you go, Bartek. We got a critique.
Shut up, Ryan!
No. So, as always, you
The
guys
key
have
is
been
both speak more
fantastic,
often, and just constantly
amazing, wonderful listening people. As always, you should remember to be kind to one another, but also if you want to support the show, we have a Facebook, an iTunes. Hey, we're on Google Play now.
Oh.
I had to do a bit of crafty work there because Australia doesn't allow podcasts on Google Play because Australia sucks. But we're on there now, and, on YouTube, we're on all that kind of stuff. You just type in Spit and Polish Presents, and you'll find us on various sites and means. Give us a rating and a review on iTunes, or Apple Music, or whatever it's called. I don't care. I really care that you give us a rating and a review, but if you don't want to, that's fine. Just tell your friends. Be like, hey, I heard this amazing podcast with this chick called Cat Holder.
Do people leave reviews?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And
Is it you?
no, sometimes, but sometimes.
We've got, 4?
Yeah.
Oh, that's more than I expected.
For Australia. Because with iTunes ratings and reviews, when you're reviewing it in a different country, it will appear for that country, but not for us. So
really?
you have to change iTunes settings to see America from America and all that kind of stuff.
That's annoying.
That's the whole
Life.
story. So, as always, guys, remember to be kind to each other. Till next time.
And now we're all gonna say Zniknonj.
Zniknonj. Okay, do you know what I've realised why you can't interrupt Ryan? Is because he doesn't stop.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
He just keeps going.
I've known him for most of this decade.
Zniknonj. How do you say that word? What are you saying?
Zignoj.
No. The first part is znik,
Znik.
Znik.
nonj.
Oh, no.
Nonj.
Okay, nonj.
Yeah.
Zniknonj.
Zignoj.
Yeah. Polish has a bunch of like variations of their vowels where they make an kind of sound.
Like the back.
Yeah, it's weird.
Zniknonj.
Can we all try and say it at the same time? To
Wait,
end this
one more
episode?
time.
Zniknonj.
Zniknonj.
Okay, on the count of 3, I'll go from 3, 2, 1,
Play.
and then play, and then we can say
Wait,
Zignonj.
are we saying Zniknonj instead of play?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, till next time, guys. 3, 2, 1,
Zignonj.